All right, man. Let's get into this topic of always keeping it real, man. Keeping it oh so funky on one of the zestiest, pedophilic, deranged buffoons that ever has stepped in to the house of the bigot. We only had one moment where bigot wasn't actually in that house. Maybe even two or three moments to where bigot didn't reside inside at home with a stanky, filthy family in it. And but the latest stanky, filthy, deranged, dysfunctional Adam family group to occupy the White House is Donald Trump, one of the tackiest bozos you've ever seen in life. A dude who is worshipped by other moronic people inside of American society. But we'll get into it being about Donald Trump. So if your name is not Donald Trump, please don't step in here crying and defending him based on what I have to say about him, which is just the most sincerest thing that can be stated about Donald Trump, who is finding himself going through some real traumatizing moments, real traumatic situation as his past comes to haunt him. But this ain't even the thing where I got to dive into the Epstein world or the Epstein time period of Donald Trump. It is about Trump's failed second term and what has made Trump not just a one-time horrible president, but a two-time horrible president. And one of the things I cannot understand is what is his purpose of even stepping back into this damn White House? As this dude has failed to accomplish anything for the American people. Now, he has definitely accomplished many things for his family, as his family are the people who are, you know, taking advantage of what powers their father has or their relative in Donald Trump has, and that's for them to become welfare recipients and earn great amounts of wealth that is taken away from the mouths of American citizens who get out here, work hard, bust their ass for nothing. There has not been a huge explosion in people driving into the wealth class or the wealth economy. Is just not happening like that. But what it is happening is for a select group of whites. It's definitely happening to a select few of whites, as long as they fit certain criteria and look, certain lineage, and there's a pathway for them to kind of, roll into this kind of like a lateral move over into this position of accumulating what Trump has put out there and set forth for him as he pulls off this economic con game that he is pulling, which at some point is going to be investigated, be looked at, and it will end in the downfall of this damn con artist. And as well as those who've been put in position to become yes people and ultimately become fall guys for him, such as the little blonde head, disgusting bimbo Pam Bondi. But let me go into this real quick. Give me 1 second. Let's play this. Take a better look at a monkey.
Have you took a good look at a monkey? A monkey got thin lips. Take a good look at a monkey. A monkey got light eyes. Take a good look at a monkey. A monkey got straight hair. Take a good look at a monkey.
All right, we're taking a good look at a monkey, a good lesson in the description of a monkey. So the next time anybody ever dare want to talk about a black person being a monkey, you take their asses to the zoo. Or you can even walk them around if you're ever in Africa, because for some reason a lot of Europeans love the rich, resourceful land of Africa. But that's why I say, man, you gotta learn to get your disrespect up, and along with being able to get your disrespect up, you have to build your knowledge. You must build your knowledge of things, not so much of this thing of knowledge of self and all that other shit. You must have knowledge of everybody, everything that exists here on this earth, and therefore, things when people throw out their ignorance towards you, it bounces off. Matt F talking about he says Male monkey. Yeah. Well, most monkeys are male species. Better says nice pick. Talk about Trump. He says the male monkeys. Absolutely. Well, the monkeys really have kind of a closeness in the depiction of the backwood bigot. Just like I was talking about the other day when I say I walk in my newfound store of Whole Foods. I'm a Whole Fooder now. Like I said, I walk in there and I walk in like one of the biggest snobs and I look at people like they don't belong. Like, what are you doing in my community? I do this thing. I practice what other ignorant ass people have practiced, and they push off on people that hurt other people, and what other people cry about, oh, they be so racist. I reverse that shit. I walk in there and act like they don't belong in there. Like I was saying the other day, when I look at certain little Pam Bondi-esque ass women, Melania Trump looking women with certain types of toiletries, and I look at them like, listen, baby, you have the wrong type of, what do they call that? The wrong pile of toilet paper, not a 3 pile. You may need a 4 pile because with the flatness in your ass, your butthole is sticking right out, dirtying up your fucking panties if you are to wear them. And therefore, you need a better toilet paper to wipe that ass that has a butthole sticking right up because there's a lack in cheek circumference to shield the draws from doo-doo stains. And then therefore the same thing when you go back into the relations of a monkey. When you look in the zoo, a monkey's asshole is always sticking out, protruding for those to see. Therefore, the relations with the Pambondis, the Trump mama, Trump daddy and granny, and everything that goes along with them have a closeness to a monkey. So therefore, when I'm in the store in my newfound location for shopping, Whole Foods, I look at a bunch of people with monkey booties. And and therefore I'm in there to really teach. I'm in there to teach. I look in baskets all day and it just look. I just look in baskets and shit. Let us see what people are eating and what flat booty ass bitches are wiping their asses with. And then and the AOBZ says his purpose for stepping back in the White House was to avoid those felony charges using felony immunity. He says and try to stack up as much money as he can before he disappears. And I you're right on point with where I'm going with this shit exactly. And then Matt F says the pancake ass talking about these people who love to throw around the word monkey on black people when they have it totally backwards. And then AOBZ says presidential immunity is what Trump is trying to use as he re-enters in the White House. And the way in which he did it was through the manipulation, because it ain't just one thing to walk back in and become president again. It happened because of this one thing that some of the foolish ass people who have fallen in love with Donald Trump have always spoken about what was a false thing about the American democracy, and that is the election. And the fact that they pick and choose who wins the elections and your vote doesn't count. But in this second term, we still have this president who sits in there who is constantly crying about an election that he lost fair and square through the fact that people got to get out and votes count. The fact that in this second term, he uses this administration and its resources to go in there and raid election offices to investigate election fraud in the 2020 election, and they return a result that is unfavorable to this dumbass. And it is to come back and tell them you have lost. And then a lot of times these people are afraid to tell Trump this because of their fear of losing their job, which is a loss in income for a lot of these people. That's why you get Pam Bondi, who sits at this committee hearing the other day investigating into their handling of the Epstein shit, of always highlighting Trump being so great, Trump being so this and the best president, because that bitch is in fear of her losing her job. And the fact she got to kiss this dude's ass because once this welfare system of the Trump administration cuts her off, that bitch goes in the poorhouse. Now she better hope she accumulated enough fucking income in the robbery of the American system to have paid off everything that she owns, and especially to pay off for her home, as well as everybody in the Trump administration before it falls off, and to put those things in other people's names. Because if the money trail leads to them being thieves within the system, once the investigations are run, the country will confiscate and auction that shit off to pay back the American citizen, which we don't get none of that shit back. And that's just terms they use when they go and confiscate this shit from criminals and sell that shit on the auction block and act like they recovering money for the American public, which is a bullshit ass lie. But so that's one of the things why they have to sit over there and kiss ass, be a bunch of yes people to this failed con artist whose scheme is going to end up falling apart due to his ignorance and his tackiness and inability to run things real covertly. It's just glaring with everything that this fool is doing, and it's falling apart. And it's not just the Epstein shit. The Epstein shit is some other shit that I haven't delved into. I think we'll dive into it tomorrow on the Friday show. And it just shows the disaster with Trump, everything that surrounds him, the type of disgusting people these people are, the way in which they cover up for these damn greedy, sycophant ass elder white dudes. And it is a constant thing when you look amongst the white administration. Sex is always a thing amongst these wicked ass dudes. Yeah, damn, you go back during the foundation of the American system. Has always been some goddamn sick-minded sexual shit amongst these damn people. So it is no surprise that the shit that's going on with Trump, the Epsteins, and everybody else that surrounds him, top executives across this country, and the need to protect these people. It has been interwoven within the culture of these people. Before they arrived here on the American soil, it was a thing that was a constant in their history over in their country. It's been a thing that has followed them in their conquest of other countries through military force and other means of wickedness. It is staying within their religion, and this is something that has just been handed on and passed down to them. And as we come through a more enlightened period in time, a lot of these fools cannot turn that shit off. It is just something that has been passed on and taught to these fools. Now, this other thing with the Trump administration, the failure of this dude is that he is not coming in here and change a goddamn thing. He's going in here, and when you look at everything that has cost the American society and debt to the country, the way in which they have handled this immigration thing, which a lot of people talking about, they want the immigrants out of here. Now, that shit wasn't free. And they have pulled up estimates of what it has cost the American taxpayer to remove these people and to pay these degenerates who have gone for these ICE jobs and who are now crying about not receiving bonuses that were that were promised to them. They have not received that money. They're facing a lot of backlash. That's one of the reasons behind covering these guys' face, because they knew how failed this damn operation was going to be, because they're going to end up all losing these jobs, and to hide away their identity, to not be identified, and then to now move on and to reinventing themselves, reinventing who they are, because their identity hasn't been revealed, unless there are people archiving, documenting who these people are, because the masks come off at some point. The vehicles they drive and the location these vehicles have to park at have to have a place to where these people step out of there and then to, integrate themselves into society off the clock. And so when this failed goddamn employment ends, they move on and act as if they're just been peaceful members of society. It's no different than what the German society, which Donald Trump and his administration mirror and study a lot of the shit that they are trying to conduct here inside of America. And it is failing. Today, the announcement of the shit in Minnesota coming to an end after the other bitch. You don't even hear about the little fucking Shirley Temple curled bitch, just ridiculously ugly, trash ass whore. What is her name? Kristi Noem. You don't even hear that broad. She has been fired. Where's she at? All of these fools is about to go down a disaster in this failed ass administration, which is only here to steal from the American public. But in this deportation thing that they have going on, it has cost the American economy $170 billion. $170 billion. to removing these people, and it has done nothing effective for the American system, which is crazy. And if they are to continue this shit, what is supposed to be the positive outcome, and what is to be poured back into the American system? And along with his cuts to other government agencies and all that other shit, man, this fool ain't got a plan for shit. This other thing, when you're looking into the market as well, is they go with this huge damn investment into artificial intelligence, and you're seeing the tech sector go through their shit. You're seeing more and more fallout from the goddamn. You're seeing more and more fallout from the goddamn Epstein shit. As more top executives are finding themselves resigning before they are to be handed their firing papers, because a lot of their goddamn past is coming to haunt them. And these are people who push policies on motherfuckers. These are the same people who push policies on motherfuckers, who are the biggest violators of all of that shit, who do the most wickedest shit. This is why you find yourself inside of companies having to take these training courses and what is the training? The training courses and harassment and all this other shit. When this is something that's been done by white males in top level positions within the companies, and nobody calls that shit out. And it's the same thing you find with these goddamn people over here in this Trump administration who do the same kind of shit, and there's no goddamn consequence to that shit. But those days may be coming to an end to where white men are allowed to just do whatever. And then also held accountable along with what Trump and other, wealthy, I don't like calling these people powerful people, but people who are at the top of the economic scale and shit. How they are definitely held to the highest standard amongst people with standards, and condemning that shit, and to be calling for kind of the highest punishment that these fools should receive, which should be death. Um, but also the parents. I think a lot of the parents involved in the situation with these young ladies involved in that Epstein shit, these parents ought to be brought to justice as well. I think a lot of the survivors and victims should also be their parents should be called to justice. Their parents should be punished. And I think a lot of survivors should support that shit. That they put them in these positions, man, to become victims at such a young age, to be sold off to these type of people from around the world. Can you just imagine that kind of shit? Some old underage fucking child being boarded on the fucking plane, flown clear across the damn world to some old foreign place, and then brought in some situation by some goddamn adult for them to do just some of the nastiest shit with a bunch of punk ass dudes. Like, man, ain't no fucking way. And then you get a whore like Pam Bondi trying to cover up and defend this sick ass shit. That makes me want to think, like I say, who raised Pam Bondi? Is this shit normal for her? Was she used like that? Like, these motherfuckers, man, come on, man. But I like everything that's starting to pop out. But once again, I want to go into this felt presidency of this punk. AOB Easy says president shouldn't be able to hire and fire the DOJ. Says it's most definitely, says, a conflict of interest because he's using that shit as his own weapon, and he's weaponized the fuck out of the department. He's weaponized the hell out of this shit. And then the AOBC says when you actually dig into researching the Epstein shit, says it will make you sick, says, to your stomach. That's why I haven't looked at that shit. That's why I don't think I've looked at it. And then Matt F says a bunch of rich white men says who like to play with kids. Absolutely. And they love playing with kids because because God ain't blessing. That's why I always say, I don't listen to these clowns' religion, because I always ask this shit, who the fuck is your God? Because they really don't believe in that motherfucker. And God has punished these people by not blessing them with shit. And that's why they can't mess with fully grown women. Because with a fully grown woman, there ain't nothing they can do to satisfy her. And so therefore, these fools go out there in their search as being predatory ass people. And then these people having the control of global economics to keep people down and poor, the ability to change the lives of people through the transfer of funds and shit like that. Like it's just some wicked shit to be able to use this shit. And this is why a lot of people have resisted government, and it's understood. I understand that shit. And why people have this resistance towards shit, not wanting to be led and told what to do, people pushing for more freedom. But people have to come to a better understanding of how you achieve that shit. You can achieve that shit through the democratic methods. But when you live in a society where majority of people are just retarded as fuck, stupid, have no understanding of shit, always talk about what doesn't exist until they get an idol in Donald Trump that they worship, and everything they talked about that was so untrue about what your vote doesn't mean and elections don't mean shit, but they all run out here to go vote for this clown who wants to do everything to suppress and take away particular people's ability to vote. In particular, you can look deeply into the word particular of who he wants to vote and who he doesn't. And the other thing is to really is his attempt to really take away blacks' ability to vote and the influence that blacks have over kind of the direction this country can go in. They can talk all this shit about how low the population of blacks amongst other groups, and as they pull in identity of other groups to kind of raise the count of their certain demographic, but it's not even true, and it's still a failed measure of influence and shit. Is that blacks with the election of Clinton, the election of Obama, the election of Biden, black people influence that shit. When black people are politically engaged, it's something that destroys Americans' bigots. But then blacks go off into kind of unfocused time period and shit. And you also had a lot of dumbass black people in here talking about how votes don't count. But Donald Trump debunked all of that shit. And he intentionally debunked all that shit and had every single fool who believed that shit, who also hides themselves from being honest enough to state that they had those type of beliefs and that type of thought. Because that's the thing that happens with people. When people are wrong, people go into hiding because over time a lot of people forget. A lot of people don't hold the account of memory to, identifying these motherfuckers. But people can go over there and change shit. When people wrong, they hide and then they jump up out of that damn phone booth after hitting the little Superman spin, and now they got a cape and they some different ass motherfucker. And then Madhav says 70-year-old pilot arrested yesterday, said before takeoff. I saw that shit. And I wasn't sure if that was a real story. I heard about that. Let me see if I can get that article. These fools are sick. 70-year-old pilot. Hold on, let me check that one out. But see, I didn't know if that was an AI one. That's why I would love for this AI shit and the AI companies to be kind of destroyed. Let me see. And it's like, matter of fact, while you brought that up, let me look up that one. So this 2 days ago, 70-year-old pilot in Brazil accused of, yeah, here it is. I'm going to pull this one up. Wait up. That goes to some other. See, I don't know how true that is because some of the sources that are reporting that, let me see. Can I go with the Sun? I want to actually see the photos of this guy being arrested. So they showing this out of Brazil and the pilot being arrested. Not sure if that's law enforcement arresting him. Let me check that. But it's a lot of this type of creep ass shit going on. But then it makes me wonder, like, who are the parents? See, this one I don't know. See, I don't know, and I really don't want to report that one until I get more info on it because, like I say, you got so much of fake ass reporting on shit. You don't have the networks that are doing anything because Trump has them by the damn nut sacks. As you come in with Trump administration and how all over the place he is, he's exposed a lot with what is kind of been a thing out here with some of the major networks, to where a lot of their money came from government funding and shit. So I don't know how true that story is with that pilot and whether or not that's what he was doing, but I wouldn't put it past him, because a lot of that sick shit. And a lot of times when people have the resources and means to kind of pull this shit off, and that's the danger with certain people, being connected to people with these type of means to change their lives. Same thing that with Epstein. Epstein rubbed his shoulders with very powerful economic elites and shit, and without even being qualified for shit, he's able to rub shoulders with these dudes. These dudes transferring wealth over this dude, and he pulled them into a bunch of shit that for decades they were able to conceal and hide this shit from the rest of the world until they weren't. And then now it's spiraling out of control for all these fools. And then you have a lot of these women who are now coming out, who are victims of this shit, speaking out against these fools. And then the fact they had a bunch of these survivors sitting inside of that hearing yesterday with Pam Bondi. And she didn't want to acknowledge them, never looked towards them, avoided questions, continued to protect and kiss Trump ass. And as a woman, she's a dirty, raggedy, dog-headed bitch. And who knows, her father probably did all type of shit to her. Don't put nothing past them wicked motherfuckers. And then Matt says, did you see the mega dad says he shot his daughter over Trump in Dallas? I seen some article like that, but I didn't like it. Once again, I didn't even read that shit. I didn't read that, but it don't surprise me, because they kill each other over their political beliefs. It's a common thing amongst whites in American society. Is politics is very volatile amongst them. That's why they push it off to other people. That you shouldn't talk politics, you shouldn't talk religion, and all this other dumbass shit, to want to silence people from their little wicked capitalist, colonistic fucking ways of shit. Some of the most ill shit that a lot of people should fucking divest themselves from the beliefs and followings and teaching of this weird ass shit. That's why I say, who the fuck is these gods that they talk about? Well, that's why I don't listen to these people and talk their religion. Who is your God? And then Kay Watson says, okay, says Red's new shirt. No, this is actually an old shirt. Y'all just used to seeing me wear white t-shirts. This shirt is very old. And then Jerry says, how about the entire DNC says refusing to stand for the victims murdered by illegal immigrants? Murdered by illegal immigrants? Jerry, you sound dumb as fuck. So we got murders that are widespread. A murder in America is a problem. And so you only focus on it being some immigrant like a little bigot punk ass person would. Think there's a lot of white folks in here killing motherfuckers. Think there's a lot of people disappearing over white fucking serial killers, white psychopathic motherfuckers, white school shooting ass kids who learn this shit through the weirdness of their damn parents. But you talking about killings that are only done by illegal immigrants. Why? Because Trump act like illegal immigrants are the only people that kill people? You sound dumb. Think of murder in America as a murder in America, and it's bad. But it's a lot of whites who kill people. It's a lot of whites who walk into stores and kill people. Whites who walk in churches and kill people. Whites who walk down through the forest and kill people. Whites who fucking wear uniforms and kill people. What the fuck? I can go on and on. You can't say stupid backwoods shit to me, Jerry. Like, y'all are demonic than a motherfucker. What kind of, it makes me want to ask, because I didn't know you for years, Jerry, but we don't know each other like that. I be wanting to ask, have you ever done some weird shit to a motherfucking child? Because it is a thing within your culture and the type of shit taught in these communities you come from. Have you ever done some shit to a child? You wouldn't admit to that shit. Motherfucking weird ass fool talking about the DNC and all that other shit. Nigga, it's about America. Fix shit, dummy. And the thing with this dumbass president, he doesn't have a solution, a goddamn thing. And how can a pedophilic, hanging motherfucker like Trump come up with a solution or anything? He's a wicked, weird motherfucker, like your ass, Jerry. Now I ask you, Jerry, have you ever done something to a child? Nigga, you wouldn't answer that shit. Watch he stay silent now. Because I probably done trigger pointed his ass because he probably done some shit. And then Big Dog Willie says, what about the Epstein's files? Yeah, he want to talk about immigrants, murders and shit, like immigrants killing everybody in fucking America. the fuck out of here. And then Jerry says, answer the question, says, and stop conflating, you stupid. Jerry, answer the question. Because I just answered the question and asked you one in the midst of me answering that one. B-Dog Woody says, why Trump essay, says a 13-year-old. Yeah, answer that one, Jerry. And Jerry, have you done that shit? Shit. Trump done it, Jerry probably done it. Light Skin Cletus says, hold up, Jerry Tasker in the house? Yeah, this Jerry Toucher in the house. Jerry Molester is in the house. That's what his name is. His task of a molesting is the Jerry Epsteiner. And he says he in there laughing. He says, what a buffoon you are. Says, enjoy the next 3 years and beyond. Says, ha, 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 enjoy. Man, Jerry, that shit ain't about to last for Trump. You can believe that shit. He probably won't make it through the fucking year. Your stupid ass. Make sure you back over here when it ends for that pump. And then Lyson Cletus says, Reggie says, you can't debate Jerry Tasker. Says he won the last debate. Lyson Cletus, that shit do not work over here. One thing I don't do is engage in stupid ass debates. Too bad Jerry lost that shit and you dumb Negroes gave him an L that he has to live with over a stupid ass pointless debate. I won the debate and don't think shit about it. I don't think about none of that shit. I'm the type of nigga who move on from shit. I don't be highlighting that shit. I can clown a nigga for a decade and move past that shit. And then Matt F says, why is Trump named in Epstein files over 38,000 times? Because Trump was doing that shit to them girls. I heard some shit, I don't know how true it is, about Trump being part of one of them underage kids being killed. And the lights and Cletus in there rolling. Jerry says, he says, hey, yeah, says, you the same guy who said Kamala was going to win. You don't know shit. Man, Kamala lost. And you don't hear me speaking about Kamala being president. Kamala ain't president. This motherfucker who won is president. This motherfucker who ain't doing shit is president. This fool doing everything to ensure that his name doesn't come all the way out being connected to the Epstein shit. The same shit you connected with in your community, homie. You probably banned from going around your family and shit. This fucking pedophilic ass dummy. And then Ashcon says, hey yo, says, is this a new channel? Says, or did YouTube unsub me? No, this is a new channel, man. Anytime you is sub to a channel of mine and you ain't sub no more, this is a new channel. Yeah, YouTube terminated the other channel you probably was sub to. And then Jerry says you should move on, says, but you can't, says, because your own members constantly remind your dumb ass says that you lost. Jerry, what are you talking about? Trump is the president. That's why you see in the title me talking about a dumb president. But pedophilic motherfuckers love to try to be on some other shit. Like I know your type, Jerry. You can't be around kids. And that's probably why you ain't got none. The fuck you talking about, dummy? I know your type. This nigga Jerry ain't never talked about a kid, never talked about a wife, never talked about a family because he's banned from that shit. It's full of Chester. He is family Chester and shit. And then Lights Included says, so that was hilarious when Jerry pulled Ano Boxing Hold card, says, for buck dancing. Yeah, that's what Ano Boxing get for being a buck dancer. He better learn to stay black. And then Ash Khan's in there saying, whoo. And then Matt F says, hide your kids from Jerry. Yeah. You remember they had that Chester Molester song back in the day? That shit was written for Jerry. Jerry says, talking about when I owned you in the debate. Man, I don't know nothing about Jerry owning shit. And then Matt F said Jerry liked them young. Yeah. Oh, animal fondling motherfucker. That's why he live on a farm. When they banned his ass, he got a farm. When they banned him from being around kids, he got a farm. So now he be out there in a barn fucking goats. Like little hillbillies do. And then Big Dog Willie says that Jerry says, why are you supporting Chester the molester? Because Jerry one of them. Jerry that type. That's the type of shit Jerry to learn from his church. Jerry pastor or priest was touching his little ass. And then therefore, he becomes what his abuser was to him. That's where he learned. That's the type of shit going on in their church. Mommy drop him off. Little priest Snervatsky start touching Jerry little ass. And Jerry start touching on little boys and shit. And then Jerry says, well, says I do have kids and a wife, jackass. Says a business, says my own, says a business. Own my own home says you have worn out t-shirts. Jerry, you don't got none of that shit. Jerry ain't never talked about a wife. He ain't never talked about a kids. He ain't never talked about nothing. That nigga has talked about this little raggedy business he own. And like I say, Jerry lives in a black neighborhood because some white folks would let him follow him when they did the white flight shit. So he lived in a black neighborhood that used to be a white neighborhood because he couldn't get out. And the only other thing he owned is a farm. So he can go in there and have relations with goats. This motherfucker weird ass Jerry. Jerry, I know you're kind, homie. I study you, motherfucker. Got a PhD in little hillbilly. And then the Ashcon says Jerry says likely story. And then Matt S says Jerry avoids the pedal question, says just like his master Trump sting. Exactly. He avoiding all that shit. Because he is one of them. I'm gonna hit a trigger on him. And then Big Dog Willie says, Jerry says, you on an ice cream truck, says in a van with no windows. Yeah, he kidnapping his victims and shit. You want a little ice cream, little guy? Fucking Jerry tying the nigga up, handcuffing his arms and shit, pulling him through the ice cream window and shit. And then Jerry says, I'm too busy schooling your dumb ass. Says, no need to talk about anything else. Nah, Jerry, talk about your criminal history, homie. You probably definitely on one of them lists and shit. And then Matter says Trump have a wife. Says Trump have a wife and kids. Still a pedo. Yeah, because his wives are whores. You throw any little flat monkey booty whores a motherfucking dollar. You can just throw $1 on the ground, that little blonde head bitch, and drag it and shit, and lure that bitch right into a damn dungeon and shit. That's how Jerry got here. His daddy couldn't get a bitch, couldn't get laid for shit. Dropped the motherfucking a bean casserole bean down on the ground, dragging it across the ground because she was starving. She followed that nigga right in one of them caves they came from, and got the got the taking advantage of that woman and shit. This is how we end up with a filthy motherfucker like Jerry on this planet. And then how you say that name? I don't even know how to pronounce it. I'm gonna say 86 says there's this Puerto Rican guy says talking about black Americans. And then what Puerto Rican guy, man? Puerto Ricans better secure their island from the jump shooting toiletry motherfucking president. And then Jerry said the big dog says you own a half breed starving pit bull, says an illegal handgun. Man, Jerry, that shit was not funny and shit. Jerry really thought of that shit. Lights Clear says, why did I sleep with him? Says the PG version, laugh out loud. And 86 says his name is Johnny. I'm not about to go watch no Puerto Rican talking about blacks. Puerto Ricans can't say shit about blacks. They too busy acting like us. And then Barry says Trump plan is to get rid of black people. Said, did you hear Bondi say it in Congress? Well, Trump better start his plan to get rid of black folks because it ain't gonna happen. Because it didn't happen when Civil War type people wanted to get rid of blacks. It didn't happen when David Duke and all them other motherfuckers down in the South. It ain't happened when the war went up and blacks is out there mauling motherfucking little whites on the damn battlefield, the Civil War. It ain't gonna happen. So Pam Bondi get her ass dusted the fuck off. Donald Trump would get his ass dusted the fuck off. Donald Trump can't do shit to black people. And he know that shit. He fuck with Donald Trump and them pickings in this world amongst the cycle of life be reproductive. They must with some of the worst genetic having bitches on this planet. They bitches don't produce shit. That's why this fool in the system stealing shit. You think he got productive children? No. They genetically deficient than a motherfucker. He can't do shit. It pisses them off. They're genetically recessive, and it pisses him off. Their women attraction for dark complexion pisses them off, and there's nothing they can do. And genetically, they need it. You match it up with all these little dysfunctional kids Trump produces with these little dingy looking bitches he fuck with. And you can take any black motherfucker, me, you, any of these motherfuckers, and go fuck any bitches in their family. Them kids gonna come out better than everything that exists in that fucking family. and probably gonna have higher ethics to work and get out here and grind versus what we see in America amongst America's upper middle class and wealth class of just lazy ass people. They have no hustle, they don't do shit. And it makes you think like, how does American system work? These people don't do anything. We got to where the stock market leads to people, certain people, depending on the type of opportunities they have into buying certain stocks, the insider trader shit that goes on that allows wealth to transfer through buying, trading bullshit stocks. Like the fuck out of here. That shit has to be ripped apart. This Wall Street shit, the growth of Wall Street shit has to stop because we're rewarding lazy ass people. We're rewarding a lazy ass behavior in America. And the Trumps in them are not examples of how America should work, how any nation should work. We're rewarding lazy ass people as we still kind of stay indoctrinated into a slave society that just goes on by being able to run by not telling you that you're a fucking slave. Simple as that. And the white ones as well. Jerry says, only thing you own, Reg says, is about 60 pounds of body fat. I own that, but I ain't on that pedophile list like you. And then how you say your name? What is that? He jealous? Or I don't know how do you say, I'm just call you 86. Says the hangout spot says with Johnny, and he says has his own boxing channel. Okay, good for him. But that don't mean I'm gonna follow him and shit. I don't know who he is. And then Matt F says Jerry has to stay 500 feet away from all schools. Facts. Jerry can't go around none of his family gatherings if his kids there. They hide the kids. Say, oh, here come Uncle Jerry. Keep them kids away. Keep the kids sound, but we need Jerry because our old lazy trailer park asses need some of that money Jerry be bringing around here. Yeah, Jerry old motherfucking the Epstein of his family. And then Rob G says a thug and Chuck Taylor is talking about Fred, a little homo ass. 86 says yeah, he a Puerto Rican, says who looks like a Mexican. Oh, that means he ain't a real Puerto Rican. He one of them old motherfuckers that landed on the island and shit. And then he says he definitely wants to be black, as that's the way they get laid. Any Puerto Ricans have to act black to get laid. This is what you find out with a lot of people of other races. To get laid, they got to act like us. They got to learn from the charisma that you see with black folks. There's weird black folks, but when you talk about charismatic black folks that got swag about them, they smooth, they cool and shit, of what has been passed down through ancestral traits with us. People got to pick up on it. Like I said, I was watching the what's that, the 304 show. Like I be one hyping that shit up where people watching that shit because of me. Is they was doing a show about polygamy and all that shit, and they bringing up about what the Africans, all these old third war ass countries do. Like nobody give a fuck or need an example out of no fucking African Indians and Asian European countries and whoever practice that shit. Like you can practice whatever you want. If you got the bread, you can do whatever the fuck you want. If you got the motherfucking mouthpiece, you can do whatever the fuck you want in a relationship. If you can sustain and maintain and dictate shit, you can do whatever the fuck you want. You don't need to be no African and follow no other ancient ass traditions and shit. If you got a mouthpiece, you able to pull that shit off, get a broad that fall in line with that shit, then you can pull that shit off. There ain't no hesitation on that shit. Just won't be allowed you marrying a motherfucker. And then AOS 86, oh yeah, I read that one. And then Barry says Pam Bondi was talking about black criminality, says instead of Epstein files, says, but Stephen A. Smith says it's cool. But Pam Bondi failed to remember that that's the same shit that that boy who dead who bitch is a whore like her. That's what the dude, what's his name? The his wife out here whoring now. Then what's that bitch? Erica Kirk. She out here prostituting now that this punk is dead. What's that punk name? He in the dirt right now. Fucking damn, they ran that Turning Point shit. That shit that Jerry Ho ass used to send money to. And what's that shit? Charlie Kirk. The fool in the dirt. Remember he was speaking about black criminality right before the damn white dude put a criminality slug through his ass. So and these fools who love to talk dumb shit, and the irony of that shit, who love to talk shit about people they don't live nowhere around. Where was Charlie Kirk even raised around? He was raised around a white flight community because his grandparents before him, if his grandparents were even here. You got to follow the path of where Charlie Kirk and him come from and when did he arrive in America. I guarantee Charlie Kirk's family and his heritage is new arrival. But then when you look at Charlie Kirk may be a mixed breed of double immigrant ancestry. I'm gonna be surprised if somebody is from South America or somewhere else, but he ain't a fully white dude. But the fact he's sitting there on stage at a university of super white university in Utah, I believe it was, or Colorado, extremely homogenized whites societal environment. And him sitting on stage at the moment he's talking about black criminality and a white dude from somewhere on the roof with what is a good old thing that they love to defend out of that Second Amendment of right was brought on top of a roof with him and he put it right through his white ass. A white man at the moment he is talking black criminality did a drive-by on this motherfucking ass. So these fools in Pam Bondi whore ass don't know what the fuck they be talking about because they don't live nowhere close to where the people they talk about. Just like the whore, the pedophilic motherfuckers who are out here doing all this shit to underage white girls, it ain't a black motherfucker inside of that crime scene. It ain't a black motherfucker nowhere inside of the crimes that take place inside of Washington, D.C.'s government. Ain't nothing but white folks that you see pulling off all the most scandalous shit inside of Washington, D.C. Even when they caught the black mayor out there in D.C. a long time ago, it was white folks responsible for that shit. So we need to be honest when we hear people want to be offensive and learn to be offensive with truth, right back at dumb motherfuckers. And then Ashcon says white American man needs a saviors. Yeah, they need savior, and they savior comes from stealing currency and shit because it's the only thing that gives them opportunities of access to women and shit. Outside of that shit, if women just lived off of the dollar to be shit, if women just lived off of what you can do to them to please them and shit, these fools will go extinct and shit. But even with they women where they trick off that money, you best believe the women sneak out. The women sneak out and do all type of shit. Them women some of the nastiest whores. That's why you even Pam Bondi, a law student, I guarantee and when she hit her pass when she was in college, I guarantee Pam Bondi is being slutted out. Christy Nome is being slutted out. Melania easily slutted out. All these broads, come on, homie. All these whores have been slutted out. Jerry, former wife, been slutted out by black dudes. Jerry probably got left by her for a black dude. Jerry couldn't do nothing to her. That's why Jerry started doing all that pedophilia shit. He can't do nothing to a grown woman. Wife getting slutted out, straight teabag. And then he go off to that little Phil Busy got kissing her when he walk out the house and shit. And Jerry said, "Damn, you sound stupid, Jerry. I'm always sounding intelligence. I'm just sorry it triggers you." And then Barry says, "What do you think about Antoine Daniels?" I think he'll sell out, an ignorant ass fool, but he's a fool that Corey Holcomb should have left alone too. That's all I think about Antoine Daniels. Once Corey Holcomb tried to bring this girl, I mean not this girl, but that dude into his spear and shit, it became disastrous for him. And now it got him to where all this shit is coming up against him. And then Ashcon says creativity comes from struggle. Says that's why the poor always comes up with everything. Yeah, because these old little spoiled silver spoon punks who we allow, but then people vote against their own interests and voting for these type people, having a belief that these people will deliver for them. Trump is going to make us rich. We're voting for Trump. He's a billionaire. He's going to help us do this. He's going to drain the swamp. This nigga drains the swamp and he all in that motherfucker. Trump drained the swamp and he all in that shit. Now he putting the damn plug back in the damn swamp. He said, "Let's refill this shit." Because this snitch ass thought he was gonna snitch on other people. It's the Clintons and that's funny how the Clintons' name ain't brought up no more. Because guess what happened? Bill and Hillary pulled his bluff. Make this a public fucking hearing. Since y'all want to bring up shit about us being connected over on that island shit, make this shit public. Cause there ain't nothing Bill got to lose. Bill in the same path as Trump. They both on the motherfucking on a dying leg. They about to kick a bucket soon. Shit. Bill about to expose all that shit. And they was like, nah, we don't need y'all to do no public hearing. It's okay. It's okay. We'll just let the noise die down. Bill and them like, nah, Bill and them should allow somebody to interview him. Somebody should get an interview with Bill and had him open up about this shit. And then Jerry said, Reggie Owens, the broke ass philosopher. No, the broke ass nigga who just exposed you as being a pedophile. Just expose your fucking hidden history, homie. Ain't that some black documentary shit? Hidden history. Yeah, that's shit. I just broke out the new documentary on Jerry, hidden history and shit. Yeah, pedophilia ways, guaranteed. People, you probably got all type of pedophilia shit in your upbringing. You can deny that shit all you want. I'm gonna hit you where it hurt, Jerry. You shouldn't open your mouth because your name ain't Donald Trump. Your name is Jerry, whatever the fuck it is. You can hide it because there's some old sick shit that comes behind your name and behind your family, homie. Bunch of pedophiles and that shit. Who knows? You come on. And Ashcon says, Miller says, no, not that Miller. You talking the fool who got Trump little nasty ass daughter knocked up. That fool who hair falling out his shit. Yeah, I'm talking about Charlie Kirk. The white dude got smoked by a white dude. God damn. That fool got smoked with a big round. He ain't get smoked with no 9 and no shit. That fool shot him with some shit you hit an elephant with. And then the fools want to throw a big ass ceremony for him and do all this damn government escort shit, lowering flags, half style. Like, who the fuck is this punk? I give a fuck about Charlie Kirk. His old whore don't even give a fuck about him. That bitch probably was fucking as soon as he died and shit. That little stanky ass slut. And then Ashcon says that was Utah. Says I'm in Colorado. Says even I'm too dark for Utah. And then Madev says Jerry cried like a baby when Kirk got shot. Yeah, he cried and shit. He probably wanted to hang himself. And he realized the violence of people who look like him put his own life in danger. And he says Pam Bondage, yeah, Pam Bondage is straight up horror. She's definitely in college getting her ass ran through. And then Barry said Jerry probably an Atlanta zesty boy, man. That fool Jerry is fucking true to life pedophile. And then Barry says Trump actually making Indian his highness rich, says Mega got played. You talking about the Indians that Cash Patel come from? You talking about Cash Patel people? Absolutely. Trump is selling the fuck out of this country. Trump has done nothing to change things to better the situation for average Americans, for American youth, and for American seniors. He ain't done a goddamn thing for them because they are not in his interest. They're not even in his interest. And that is a thing of people being played, bait and switch like a motherfucker for your vote. And the matter says Jerry likes to sit, says when he takes a piss. Yeah, that's what he was doing in his cell. His cellmate had him sitting on the toilet while he pissed. And he was in there cleaning drawers. And then Ashcon says, Jerry says, are you doing homework? Says for villain class. Jerry says a fool can convince himself of anything. He says, right, Reg? Man, no, Jerry. A fool like you can hide who he is. But a genius like me will reveal that shit without having to know you. I just know when you writing this motherfucker who you are based on what you try to defend. And you defend a bunch of sick shit. And then Ashcon says, I've said from day one, says Trump is a Russian asset. Absolutely he is. He dealt with them. Fucking Epstein is a connection point between all these fools. We put too much faith in these damn type of people. These people who allow to do business everywhere, interconnect with people, play as if certain people are enemies of the nation and sell out this nation to go over here and do business. Like, America needs to break away from that shit. And it only changes by the people you put in Congress. You're voting the wrong people in these states you come from. All this shit can be fixed, and these elections are so fucking important. So important. I'm gonna always stick true to that shit because I'm always laugh at when people get fucked over who don't believe this shit, don't believe your vote count. Donald Trump debunks all that stupid shit. Dumbass motherfuckers. Ashcon says Melania says is his handler. Man, Melania is straight up trying to. Trump got that shit cut off of her that she used to poke him with once he became president. He didn't want her when they at the ballrooms dancing, getting hard on this shit. And then Jerry well, that's enough garbage, says, from your broke ass, says, for one night, says, our lifetime, says, enjoy the next 3 years and beyond. Jerry, I'm glad you're leaving, homie. I don't go live for you, dummy. You get on here and you defend pedophiles like yourself, part of this network you from, I gotta cook you. Fucking idiot. And then Mark Sumner says 21st century, says champ. I could have put the 20th century, the 19th century. I can even put the century ahead, and Trump would be the worst in that shit. He's a failure. And he says, Red says, got a new shirt. Man, y'all some gay ass dudes, man. All y'all worried about what kind of shirt I got on. The fuck? These fools be really paying attention to that shit. Like y'all be saying, I be telling y'all dudes, man, they fucking worry about shirt, my shirt and shit. Boy, I swear, man, I don't be getting you fools and shit. They be really watching that shit, man. But like I say, but going back into this thing, man, about this failed president and the fact that this administration is falling apart economically, the country is falling apart. This fool don't know shit. Let me see what Jerry gonna say. Fuck you, Reds. Says you are a fool who likes to hear himself talk. Jerry, I'm out here talking live. I don't like to hear myself talk. You think you can shift the fucking narrative with your little pedophilic shit? Just trying to hear laughing. And then, but you think you shift the narrative. You always come in here talking that those stupid country ass bullshit you come from. Talking about I love to hear myself talk. Now, I'm talking on the topic about a bitch named Donald Trump, but Donald Trump's bitch named Jerry coming here defending his pedophilic shit. And he want to bring up some Kamala Harris shit, like the true homosexual motherfuckers you are. And then DJ says, I don't think our votes count. Says only count, says if we are says we all come to know. Votes count for everything. And the votes count based on you seeing Donald Trump going in there looking at shit. Donald Trump trying to do everything to rig elections. Oh no, votes definitely count. And votes matter. And votes have always mattered. People's fight for fucking the right to vote has always been important. But we live in this new age where people are foolish enough who never fought for anything, who don't come from a fight, will be taught to thinking that elections don't count and your vote don't count. I would never believe that stupid ass shit. And Donald Trump is showing you why that shit is bullshit. Your votes do count. And they're still in there raiding offices, having them to count to see his vote was stolen and all that other shit. I don't buy into that shit. Votes count. Every vote counts, and it's based on this electoral system that we have. And then Matt F says Epstein gave Trump a hooker. Says, and this clown married it. Right. They in there flipping hoes. Trump go to a party. They in there flipping hoes. Trump fall in love with the bitch. Man, we all niggas done elected a straight up sucker. Oh, Jerry ass motherfucker. The married on some old Jerry shit. Jerry probably tried to marry her too. Both of them motherfuckers fell in love with Melania at a Epstein freak off and shit. They had an Epstein freak off menage a trois orgy and shit. And Trump fell in love with this whore, kissing her and all that shit. These motherfuckers nasty. That's how they meet their wives and shit. They meet their wives getting slut, see them naked. And then Ashcon said, Reg says a regular, says, oh hell no. Nah. And then Jerry says, scoreboard red, scoreboard. I'm lost on the scoreboard part, Jerry, but I know that's how you guys meet your wives. If the scoreboard on her high means she banking nut shots off her face, she's a valuable chick to y'all. And then Go Young DJ says, no, the electoral college votes count. No, the electoral college is based off of the accumulation of votes, bro. You have certain representation out of them states. It's based on each state having a certain number you accumulate to reach a certain point. If you go into that state, enough people don't vote for this candidate wins more of them, they win that state, they go on, they win the next state. That's why they campaign in each state. The electoral college shit still counts. It still matters. It's the old outdated system, but it's based on votes. It ain't based on just no electoral college just giving you the electoral numbers. It's based on votes. All of this shit is based on votes. So that comment didn't make any sense, bro. And then Barry says, I wonder if Jerry's, oh hell yeah, Jerry's white. You can based on the shit Jerry write and Jerry lifestyle, nigga pedophilia. You're pedophile. And then Ashcon says, I mean Jerry. And then Matt F says Jerry's favorite pickup line is I got some lollipops for you, girl. Yeah. That nigga love being on Halloween in front of his house and shit. That nigga, he do that late night trick-or-treating shit. He got candy after hours at his house and shit. Hoping some little kid is still out and shit. Oh, weird ass old dummy. And he says, keep my name out your mouth. Says, yet I'm triggered. Jerry, you writing comments, you big dummy. The fuck you talking? Keep your name out of my mouth. You writing comments, dummy. Fucking idiot. You keep motherfucking your hands off of underage kids. Damn pedophile. And then Barry says, Red says, will Trump actually go to war with Iran? That shit died off like a motherfucker. What happened to that shit? But I wouldn't put nothing past Trump. As Trump grows desperate in this current climate of his presidency, I wouldn't put nothing past this idiot. Him wanting to start wars, his invasion of countries, I wouldn't put none of that past him. But I think it'll end disastrous. I think the Pentagon is pushing back. Oh, salute to the judge that kicked Pete Hegseth in his ass for wanting to go after the retired, who's a congressperson as well, but a retired military officer. And they kicked him in his ass and decided, man, you ain't about to do shit to take away that dude's military benefits and all that other shit. Like, you ain't here targeting this dude. This dude had every right to tell these people not to obey your unlawful fucking orders. Fucking peon ass bitch. So salute to the courts for blocking this little bitch made motherfucker Pete Hegseth, who Congress need to get on that shit maybe after elections and start removing people out the Trump administration. Turn this fool into a lame duck ass president because he's worthless. But I would love to see what happens if he starts some shit with Iran. And then, like I say, Jerry loved this abuse that I give to him and shit. He a fucking weird pedophile. And the matter said Jerry is most definitely a pedo. Man, you can see that shit written all in his motherfucking ass. And Jerry said, that's because you stupid. Says presidency, says House Senate, says stack conservative Supreme Court, says have fun with that. Jerry, you act like this shit stays permanent. What the fuck is Jerry talking about? Jerry sounds stupid. And then Ashcon says Jerry must be European, says because no American is okay with this government. Man, Jerry is straight welfare recipient and shit. Probably didn't got shit cut from him. And Jerry says you keep talking that pedo shit, says I'm going to report you. Jerry, get the reported. Hey, get the reported so we bring the facts out on your motherfucking ass. That nigga want to report. YouTube, this motherfucker want to report me a fucking pedo. Jerry want to report me. Who you gonna report me to? Bondi? You gonna report me to Google? Who you reported me to, Jerry? You fucking piece of shit. What a tattletale. They ain't gonna tell. Jerry, go tell away. This shit ain't gonna work, motherfucker. You are what you are. You fucking peon. And then you want to get on here and tell. He gonna report. Who you gonna report me to? Patel? Trump? What the fuck you were telling to? You better go hurry up and tell, you fucking idiot. That shit ain't gonna stop nothing. Yeah, I talk about you every time you come in this motherfucker, you fucking Chester ass nigga. And the matter says what happened to the $2,000 check? Like I told my cousin, you ain't never gonna get that fucking money. He says, you two dumbass, says you will sell. Jerry gonna go tell you. Jerry want to go tell you too, you fucking little piece of shit. I told you what he is, man. Always right with motherfucking Reggie and this motherfucker. I'm the champion of this shit. You keep your ass off them goddamn profiles, you goddamn registered offender. And then he says Jerry's on the Epstein list. He definitely in that shit. His name redacted. I'm gonna report you to get your name redacted off that damn file. Goddamn chump, you old Epstein fucking chump. Told you to shut your motherfucking mouth when I'm talking about that hoe in the White House. Well, you probably his whore. That's what it is, Jerry. You probably want to Trump whores. And he says, Ashcon says, maybe you missed that last election. And then Matt says, search Jerry's name on the list. That's why Jerry won't put his name up. I'll report your name for trying to have that NIGGR in your name. He gonna report the YouTube. Well, get the reporting, Jerry. You should report right motherfucking now. You know what he says? Jerry was the one who said Trump was smarter than Senator Mark Kelly. He says Air Force fighter pilot and astronaut. Exactly. And that's why the judge told Trump and P. Hegseth, take y'all stupid asses somewhere else. You ain't about to get away with nothing with this guy who actually served in the military, didn't dodge drafts like the peons that these motherfuckers are. Even though immigrant Jerry ain't never served his own country, let alone America. And then Ashcon says anyone that still support Trump in the U.S. is a traitor or a pedophile. And then Fresh BX says bragging about telling on YouTube is crazy, man. That's what these fools do. That's what these damn sucker ass motherfuckers do. Now, Jerry, how about you report this live right fucking now? Fucking chump. And then Mark Sumner says report him from always wearing the same t-shirts. Yeah. Report, yeah. I'm gonna report your ass. Let me find this motherfucking Jerry Ho ass. I'm gonna tell you too. Oh my god. I'm gonna tell the police on you, motherfucker. And then Matt F said Jerry is a snitch, bitch. Fucking whole ass nigga. And he said we don't follow pedos orders, Jerry. Yeah, you motherfucker got no power in here. Talk about you gonna tell, man. You better go get the reporting, motherfucker. You need the phone number, the YouTube phone number, report, motherfucker. And then Jerry says the Ashcon says, well, get used to it. Says you must have missed the last election. This motherfucker's still sucking Donald Trump nuts, who ain't done nothing to change a goddamn thing. And this is one of the things that I would say will be effective for any person who is to be effective at that goddamn role, man. And one of the things I think that a president that goes into running this country, looking to deliver on this country, is the first try to, bring a calm to the division within this country, man. There is such a division politically in this fucking country. To try to bring an end to that. And the way to bring an end to that is to educate Americans, to not make things about it's the red, the blue, liberal, conservative. Like, fuck all that stupid ass shit. Everybody on blood and Crip ass shit. The Klepits and the Hatfields and McCoy ass shit. The fuck out of here. Why these damn suit wearing fucking buffoons, degenerate Jerry looking motherfuckers, sit here, con people while thieving up out of this motherfucker. Robbing this system blind. And then the next one moves in and robs the system blind and don't deliver shit for the goddamn pathetic idiots of America. It's changing things within the medical system, ensuring that people are benefiting out of this shit. It ain't tricky to navigate through shit. You deliver on people. It shouldn't be you get this tier of this thing. It should be you walk in a hospital, you have something wrong with you. We have the know-how to fight almost everything that a person is faced with. Now you have to go in to be treated. If you don't got this certain kind of money you done paid into some shit, you ain't earning this amount annually. You walk in a hospital and be turned away. When this hospital has a cure for everything that you're faced with, but you become untreated because you don't have this insurance, you don't work for this corporation who offer this type of insurance, who offer this network. I mean, we deal with some of the dumbest fucking shit in a nation that can do so much shit. But because we nickel and dime the fuck out of people, we turn people away. None of that shit makes sense. These doctors are so highly educated on everything. We can extend the lives of motherfuckers. Hell, what's the fool out the Bush administration kept needing the fucking heart? Like, get the fuck out of here. People should be able to walk in a hospital, be treated for what they need, be cured for what diseases affect them, and it should not break motherfuckers. Should not cost you to go through a trickery, dickery, dock ass system. It is to go in there and take care of that shit. We take so many taxes from people, people paying so much into the system, and it should be as simple as that. Then we deal with the insurance schemes that go on in this country, whether it's insurance schemes on for people owning homes, especially people owning cars. That shit needs to be regulated, put in check. We should deal with the constant rising in cost of the bullshit from the insurance industries. I think our government should advocate for us against the corporations of America. That's what the government should be. That's what Congress should be for, is to be the advocators of the American citizen. Is to ensure that we don't have annually or even biannually to where insurance companies are looking for using data to create reasonings to jack up your pricing. Oh, there's this amount of wrecks in this area. It ain't that many fucking wrecks happening nowhere in this fucking country. And people will buy in this belief. They're driving to work and all that shit, and they see traffic backed up from a single fucking accident that takes out multiple lanes. And they don't even be taking out multiple lanes because so many of these nosy ass fucks love and think they just have to look and see shit and create such a log jam because the inefficiencies and what they create in the highway system. And then they just add that data into making this shit play into people's mind that people are crashing just so much that the system needs to constantly elevate the cost that you pay for fucking even liability. It's crazy. Excuse me. It's crazy when I hear some people talk about what they have to pay, and these be even elder people who have never had an accident in life pay for even just liability insurance, paying well over $100, like somewhere in the mid. No, I'm trying to shorten what I'm trying to say, but paying well over 150 for liability insurances, and then that shit's constantly going up. And then they'll create the data shows that this number of accidents and blah blah. No, it's not. There are not that many fucking accidents on these highways. Are there accidents? Absolutely. But based on if everybody is mandated to have fucking vehicle insurance, there's no way insurance companies should be able to profit that much. Because when you look at the heads of insurance companies, these fools thrive in life and they don't do a goddamn thing. They don't hustle anything. They have gone into our system of the government who allows them to put in regulations and be supported by our fucking betrayer ass politicians to allow these fools to do whatever in the system. Yeah, insurance is good, but the cost of that shit, absolutely not. The cost in housing, absolutely not. The cost in medicine, absolutely not. The cost in food, absolutely not. Even the cost in what it takes to fuel vehicles and shit. I'm looking at waiting for tomorrow to see where the place I go to get gas, what the price is gonna be tomorrow. Because the gas station across the street, which I don't go to, that motherfucking gas jumped 20 cents today. The gas over there jumped 20 fucking cents today. And I'm just waiting because usually the gas station I go to, which is the Chevron, their prices change usually a day or two after theirs. But the gas station on the other side of the street, which was the Arco gas station, which Arco gas is way cheaper than theirs, almost their gas prices almost offset each other by close to like 80 cents or some shit. But they usually jump at the same rate. The Arco gas jumped 20 cents today. That shit is crazy. And I wonder what's behind that shit. And then let me see, where was I at? And then he says Ashcon says, oh, I read that when you talking about getting used to the election. Jerry and they're sucking Trump nuts. And then Jerry says, good night, Fat Albert. Says, and just remember, Trump is still your prez next. I think, Jerry, you nut sucker of Trump. I think the title speaks about this president. So I'm pretty sure Donald Trump is a fucking president. And I'm pretty sure my title speaks on Donald Trump, but like I said, we got people who love to walk on their knees for Donald and love to kiss their ass and jump and catch the Charlie Kirk. I guess you're a Secret Service agent of the internet for Trump, but you're not going to stop me from talking about this fucking pedophile. And it's just simple as that, Jerry. You can suck his nuts all you fucking want, peon. Make sure you report me to fucking YouTube, by the way. And then Matt F says the Mark Summers and Jerry says are inbred pedo cousins. Absolutely. Saw their families got down. Motherfucking both his parents grew up in the same household and shit. And Ashcon says my friend Ling Ching says it's going to DC. Ling Ching. And then Matt F says Jerry is with us. Says Jerry is with the Make America Pedos Again cult for real. These fools push that pedophilic shit, protecting little weird ass grown dudes who can't fuck women. And then Jerry says, the Matt says, take that D out your mouth. Says, can't hear you. Man, you the one over here sucking Trump shit. The fuck you talking about? You talking about takes a dick out somebody's mouth. You in here sucking Trump nuts. Motherfucking Trump can't even fuck his bitch. Maybe you sucking Melania shit. And then Ashcon said Jerry says, don't you have a wife? Says, and kids to attend to? Man, that shit is imaginary shit. Jerry ain't got none of that shit. Jerry ain't got none of that shit. Would no bitch ever lay on her back to let Jerry hit her raw. That motherfucker. That's why he sold ice creams all his life. And then Matt F says no Trump steam Jerry. Jerry says the Ashcon says yes. Says plus your mom says I got my hands full. Look at these fucking old ass dude talking like that. Jerry ain't got none of that shit. That shit hurt Jerry. And then Mark Summers says, Matt F says you trying to deflect so people won't know says that's what you are. And then that's kind of Jerry says, okay, says that's not bad. And then Mark Summers says, too obvious, bro. And then he says Jerry says your daddy, grandfather, and his father all pedos, man. That's a high probability. It's probably very true. And then Jerry says, Red says, got it all figured out. I do, Jerry. I figured that shit out. He says from his grandma's basement, armed with nothing more than a worn out t-shirt, says and a lack of common sense. Jerry, I got all this shit figured out, homie. That's why you want to go report to YouTube. And your report to YouTube ain't gonna stop shit. YouTube may laugh at you. Let me know how that shit go too. Cause I'm encourage you to go to YouTube. Report away, Jerry. Fucking crybaby. Boy, motherfucker, 70-year-old crybaby. Get your whole ass up out of here. And he's still writing in the chat. Get the fuck out of here. I want you two to see all this shit you writing while you go report. You fucking idiot. These niggas is stupid, homie. That's one thing I'm effective at is making motherfuckers who think they can offend people cry. You can't offend me, Jerry. That shit, man, that shit don't work on me. Mark Summers says you should get an electric scooter. And then man, I would love one of them electric bikes and shit. But then again, I don't. And then Jerry says, don't get mad. I guess it's supposed to be, it says sissy. What word is that supposed to be, Jerry? See, Jerry, you can't be reporting people you can't be going to YouTube to report people if you writing shit in the chat like this. I mean, come on, Jerry. And then Matt F says Jerry has a pocket pussy, man. Yeah, because he ain't fucking shit. And then Ashcon says been a good laugh, says take care, says in the chat, take care to the chat as well, says, and I'm out. Salute, bro. But back to Jerry, man. This motherfucking old timer, weird ass dude. I'm surprised he remembered to click on this channel. I thought all timers have kicked in on your old ass by now. But it ain't kicked in yet. His brain is still in good standing and shit. And then Matt says Mark Stumber calls Jerry says when plays with his nipple or to play with Jerry nipples and shit. And Jerry old ass scumbag. Oh, sorry, motherfucker. And he's so failed in life that his ass still working. And he says, yeah, that's exactly, hey, D Bell, that's exactly who Jerry is. Jerry one of them old goddamn Sandusky ass niggas. Oh, Sandusky. And he live in his community black now and shit. His community black. So I wouldn't be surprised. He act like he putting on some damn programs out there for black kids. You know how they had them little programs white people used to try to run for black youth and shit. One act like they provide them with all these opportunities and they can come here and they parents send them to these shit. These black kids ain't became shit. And now you be realizing, man, Jerry was doing something to these motherfuckers. Yeah, I don't put nothing past people look like Jerry and shit. And that's all the Trump thing opens up is what y'all be doing, homie. It opens the door to what y'all be doing, Jerry. And it makes the rest of the world look at you motherfuckers. It's like what y'all be doing. I've been like that. Don't push that religion shit to me and all that other shit y'all teach and all that other shit. Like that's why I was saying, even before that damn Catholic Church shit came out, I knew something was weird about that shit. I be knowing when shit is weird. I mean, nigga just got a true to life human instinct on shit. That's why I be avoiding shit. Meta said Jerry wears a panty van. What is that? A panty vibrator? I knew that shit when they try to make me work at that Catholic church, and I said, hell, fucking no. I'm like, man, get me the fuck up out of here. Telling you, man, I was like, man, something weird. And mine, when did that damn Catholic church scandal? So mine, when they sent me that Catholic church, that was in 1999. The Catholic church scandal broke out when? Let me see. Catholic church. Let me see. Catholic church scandal. Let me see the year of that shit. That shit like 2000. What was that? Let me see. Boom, boom, boom. When was this shit? Yeah, Jerry was all in them churches. Between I showing 2001, so like 2001, I think that shit hit the news. And let me see, that's what I'm saying. 2001, I believe. In mine, they was doing this shit. Oh, 2002 is when 2002 Boston Globe investigation, the Archdiocese of Boston. So maybe 2002. So I was like 3 years ahead of this shit. And that's why I told him, like, man, nah, get me the fuck up out of this church. I'm not going back to that shit. I like it was some weird shit in that shit. In mine, I grew up with a lot of Mexicans and shit who became Catholics and all that other shit. In mine, it be weird shit that go on in their households and shit. They be having uncles like Jerry that be doing shit to them and shit. And then they be going to these churches being altar boys and all that shit because this European religion brought into their country force them to believe him by fucking you either worship or you die. Because along with these religions, they come with the weapon. They bring the gun, and either you gonna open this Bible, bow your head, and pray into belief, a forced belief, which makes you bow into submission of God doesn't exist. We are God, but we teach you that it's somebody up in the sky that we don't even believe in. We force you into a belief. And then they go to touching your motherfucking ass. Like I say, when I was at that church, I said, man, hell no, get me the fuck out of here. And they got me up out of there. Maybe they took like 2 days. We didn't work inside that mug. It was me and the homie. Matter of fact, the homie I was telling you about when the dude from Diver Lane banged on us, it was me and that fool that they said to because it was right around the corner from our neighborhood. Me and him was working at this mug, man. It was me and him. I said, mine working at that shit. Then they sent us with a black dude who's a bishop. And the bishop nigga was crazy as goddamn self. Matt F says, Mark Summers says, was one of them kids says that got touched by Jerry. But me and the homie, so when they took us out the church, they moved us to this dude was a bishop over in the 8 trades and shit, like right off of Manchester. That fool was this fool was an ex-Navy SEAL. He owned a bunch of shit over there near that Burger King on Manchester and what would that be? Manchester and North? No, Manchester and Western. He owned a bunch of shit over there. And so this fool used to have these daughters. That nigga used to be wanted somebody to get him grandkids. He used to want his daughters to get One of the daughters had a damn boyfriend. He wanted this nigga to knock his daughter up. He had another daughter. He used to be wanting somebody to fuck her. He'd be like, man, this nigga too crazy, man. Cause then he was an actual fucking Navy SEAL. But he was much better than working at that fucking church. Mark Summers says no, but looking to clown someone, says for being sexually abused as a child, says pretty pathetic at Mad F. Mark Summers, how about you say that about Trump and him? Don't. So you sound like you've been that shit didn't happen to you. So Matt F, you probably hit on something that happened to Mark Summers, and it happened to people who look like him. Because Matt F and them love to come in here and talk shit about what black people do, love to have negative views about black people. And Matt F just said something about Mark Summers that make him feel sad. No, what you should be talking about Mark Summers, which you don't, is about the shit that surrounds Trump and the rest of these little pathetic motherfuckers and what they do with kids. But you love to come on here whenever there's the spotlight of some black person that the American media love to kind of throw dirt on. If it's Bill Cosby, if it's fucking R. Kelly, if it's P. Diddy, if it's who else done been caught in this shit that's black, whatever the fuck it is. Y'all motherfuckers love to jump on here because now it puts this face on this shit of being a black thing. The fuck out of here. And then Mark Summers says that might have happened to you, says, and I'm sorry if it did. And then Mark Summers says, no, says, but I'm sympathetic to others. I'm not a weirdo like Matt F. Yeah, Matt F. done point out some shit that didn't happen to Mark Summers. He says, I'm sorry, Matt says that Jerry touched you. He said, just like Trump. Fucking Jerry. Jerry got the little creepy ass figure. Jerry, that old nigga from Family Guy. That's who Jerry is. He that old little motherfucking old man been fucking doing all type of weird shit. That's why Family Guy put that shit in there. Family Guy was some comical shit, but it does highlight a lot of shit what goes on in communities. Y'all like to try to throw out all these little dirtbag fucking bullshit untruths about black folks. It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me that white folks have so many things to just view of black people in the most negative of lights, homie. And people allow them to spew that shit. It's crazy to me. Crazy as fuck to me. People who've ran away from communities that they lived in to now talk down about these communities. All of a sudden, when the communities become black, they're this and they're that and they're negative and you don't want to be them. To now you're seeing white folks running right back to these fucking communities that once they moved out of for decades, they talk so ill about these communities. It's the most mind-boggling. Then you get dumb, fucking ignorant niggas that will buy into the little stigmas placed around these fucking communities. We live in the ghetto and we this and that blah blah. Because white people have presented this shit as you live in the ghetto. No, we live in communities that you sorry cowardice ass motherfuckers used to live in. And then you ran out of that shit. And then now we currently see them moving right back in these fucking neighborhoods. Because these neighborhoods wasn't none of this shit that these people tried to place a stigma on. It was no different than any time. Because this other thing that's funny to me when I hear all this new announcement of the black areas of LA being South LA is they try to rebrand South Central and shit, which fuck all that. It's South Central. And rebranding it because their plan and attempt was to move back. And it feels as if they had the protection of law enforcement to make them feel comfortable and this and that. And it's a slow roll. They're moving back in there and they still don't feel comfortable because not enough whites are moving in there. But then they're starting to realize as they live there that these black people are no different. Yeah, they have less opportunities. Yeah, there's been this growth in the gang shit, but they really don't harass or fuck with us. They're really a community. As long as they're in this little segment, they're segmented, but they're really a community amongst each other. Because me even growing up, we never dealt with car theft and home break-ins, none of that shit. You dealt with the gang shit of people coming over from other neighborhoods. But we didn't deal with a lot of that other shit that these people painted these certain negative lights and bullshit on. Yeah, we're fucking traumatized through the experience of dealing with certain gang shit. If you lived on a block where, the shootings occur and shit like that, like I did, then yeah, you deal with that kind of shit. But outside that, the white folks went back over and realizing some shit. Their parents had this shit wrong. The ignorance and prejudices of their fucking parents had this shit all the way wrong. The white folks find themselves moving back into black neighborhoods because they don't want to live in the white ones. And it's been a detriment to the sanity of their children. Their kids have been weird living in these neighborhoods. Matt F writes no. Matt F, you just can't say no. It's no to what? It should be no. You're actually wrong on this and that because you just write no because you know whatever else you write behind that no, I'm about to debunk the fuck out of you and make you look stupid as I always do. And then Matt F was responding to, Matt F was saying, says, I'm sorry, Jerry, that all you rich white man says like to play with kids, says, and you vote for them after that. And then, and says, and you vote for them after that. And then Mark Sumner says, no, one's breaking into some broke down, huh? Says no, he says no one's breaking into some broke down hootie. Oh, yeah, whack, 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 whack. Yeah, very funny. But you know who breaking into a lot of shit? The meth heads. You know who are breaking into hoopties, Mark Summers? I'm told you shouldn't wrote nothing behind that. No. You know who's breaking into hoopies? The meth heads who look like you and Jerry. That's who's breaking into hoopties. They're breaking in a lot of hoopties. There is a rise in fucking car theft, and they're the meth and fentanyl heads that look like you and Jerry. The people who may be related to you that are doing that shit. So I'm glad you wrote something finally behind that note, which you probably regret writing into. So people do break in to fucking hoopties. They steal them, they get high. They can't scrap them anymore, but they get high in them. They drive around to go find the dealers using a vehicle so that way they're not walking. And you know, it's a crazy thing. When I went out on my because I didn't go run, I went out on a walk today, and it took me a nice long ass fucking walk. But I come across this black dude, and I think the other dude was an Asian cat. And these fools sitting at the bus stop. I'm walking up, it's stinking like a motherfucker. These fools in here hiding, getting high as a motherfucker off of, I don't know what the fuck it was. I was like, man, I had to hold my breath because I smelt that shit as walking up. They trying to cover shit up what they had. One fool, I see that light in his hand, like, man, y'all over here at this bus stop because no light over in the area. I don't know if the crackheads and stole the wiring out of the just shine they're rolling. I don't know if the dope fiends stole the damn copper wiring out the damn street light, but it's dark as fuck. And these fools in here definitely getting high. At first, I was like, man, I thought they was doing some old fucking gay ass shit. And so these fools in here hiding. As I walking up, I smelled some shit. I had to hold my breath. And I'm looking like, you motherfuckers junkies, homie. Fucking junkies in here getting high than a motherfucker. Ready to steal a hoopty like Matt Summers would. And then Matt Summers says, you look like you've been smoking rocks. I thought crackheads don't gain weight like this. I never look like I smoke rocks, homie. I'm glad I don't. And I'm glad I never have. But you have, Matt, you know you have been a drug addict, homie. I think it's a common thing with people out of your community. Even Jerry went through it. Jerry and your parents have all committed you motherfuckers to drug rehabs. I think at some point in y'all life, it's like mandated that y'all go to see psychologists and shit. But I guarantee at some point in y'all life, even with the Trumps and shit, they kids got to go through rehab as well. I was looking at some shit they was talking about with the fool Trump and hired for the what is Robert F. Kennedy the head of the FDA or some shit, where this fool was talking about snorting cocaine off toilet seats. Like, how filthy can you motherfuckers get? And he's a fucking Kennedy. The Biden son, he a dope thing. All throughout these type of families is this dope fiend shit. This nigga talk about snorting cocaine off of toilet seats. That is some filthy fucking shit. I mean, god damn, y'all nasty, homie. And then Cool Breeze. Oh, and then man, yeah, sorry, yesterday the damn live stream ended up going out, man. I was mad the music stream died out yesterday. My internet ended up crashing yesterday. And then Cool Breeze says things in my area, says it got a lot worse when COVID hit. Says a lot of junkies walking around, says, and people sleeping in their cars. Facts. And Matt F talking about nobody stealing hoopties. Junkies in hoopties, Matt F. I mean, not Matt F, Mark Summers. The junkies are taking the hoopties and sleeping in them. And Mark Summers says, no, and he used the word in fruitcakes. Lost on fruitcakes there. Mark Summers, like, you're just writing short words because your feelings are hurt now. You can't even write anymore. And English happens to be a language that comes from, I think you come from the part of Europe that speaks English. So use your goddamn words, fool. Right. And the Cool Breeze says that one Kennedy killed the girl in a car accident, says, and got off. Yeah, what was it? I know exactly what you're talking about. I forgot what Kennedy that was. Wasn't that one? He ended up becoming a politician too, right? And then Matt F said Jerry gave Mark Summers says the bad says gave Mark Summers the bad drug, says, before he touched. That's how that did. That's why he switched when he walk and shit. Jerry did something to this motherfucking Mark Summers. That nigga switch. Mark Summers says, no, since I said BLM kids, oh, what's that, Black Lives Matter or something? He says, I said BLM kids. Well, you didn't say that shit. You didn't write nothing. It said BLM kids are all trans and fruitcakes. And he says it got censored by YouTube. Well, that's not true because there's homosexuality is a big thing amongst white communities and shit. It's an open thing inside of white communities. So I don't know where you get that shit from. Y'all have a lot of the homosexuality that comes from out of the countries y'all come from. It's openly practiced. The other thing, even there's throughout human history, there's always been homosexuals and shit. But inside of cultures, it's always been something that has been shot down and suppressed. But one thing is, once blacks begin to pick up and assimilate into kind of a white standard of culture, guess what happened to the black folks? They start becoming more the open homosexual shit. Once black people start to become more opening into white standards of shit, they returned as homos and shit. Simple as that. And this was the funny thing about Trump and them talking about LGBTQs and trans in bathrooms when they've been inviting trans in bathrooms all throughout their fucking life. So I don't get what Trump and them talking about and shit. And then y'all faking like that shit is something that's not part of your heritage. Like, you probably got trannies in your family, Mark Summers. You probably have a brother who's now your sister. Kubri says now a grandson of RFK says is running for office. And then Mark Summers says, nope, says white rich kids have drug problems. Says BLM rich kids are fruity. Man, Mark Summers, you got all that shit backwards. You should have kept that shit to rich white kids. They be homos, they drug addicts, and they do all that shit. And they're also parent abusers. And they become people who their parents also have to watch because their expiration dates can be met through their kids doing something to them. And that's the danger of them. That actor dude just experienced that shit. That actor dude just experienced that shit. And even that reporter lady whose daughter's missing that the FBI can't seem to find a suspect. What's her name? Savannah Guthrie. Her mama then got kidnapped and shit. And they want to pull over a Mexican dude is the only person they have thought was a suspect. With this old Indian Patel motherfucker, the FBI can't figure shit out. And when they say white, when Patel hear white, his old Indian scrambled brain is like, oh no, not the massa. Oh no, we gotta flip it. A Mexican did it. And they pull a Mexican dude over who was just delivering some shit to her ass. And he get thought to be the suspect by Patel's old FBI and shit. The old Hampundi Gandhi brain of fucking Cash Patel's FBI won't allow him to arrest a white suspect. So they find a damn Mexican and arrest him in the disappearance of this lady, knowing damn well This white dude covered up in all that other shit who wanted to fake like he was gonna be a black suspect until his little white eyes appeared through the holes in his fucking ski mask. His poo shiesty happened to be a Mark shiesty. He happened to have a Mark Sumner on, and his old white skin appeared through it. So therefore, the suspect ain't a light skinned black. He ain't a dark skinned black. He's just a whitey white who is probably related to the family of that lady. And Cash Patel and his sorry ass FBI know they should be investigating the family of that lady or anybody close to her. But they gonna pull over a Mexican. Kubri says political parties are ruled by elite families, says Kennedy's, Bush, Trump, Clinton, Roosevelt, etc. The Owenses need to get in that shit. And then Mark Summers says BLM and LGBTQ says it's practically the same thing. Man, Mark Summers, your fucking heritage is full of homosexual shit. The fuck you talking about? Think the movie, you even go in the movie? What's the movie? It's a good movie. What's that shit? What's the shit where the fool, the king, a homo and shit? Is that Braveheart? Where the king, a goddamn fucking raging ass homo? He says Summer says been cracked by a nigga for show. What's that damn movie? No, not Moonlight. I'm talking about that movie that goes back into your country's ancient history. And the motherfucking king is a fucking homo. His dad, the one dying, Gladiator. Yeah, look. He got mad because he knew. He said, man, get our gay history right. He said, Gladiator, you clown. You better get our gay history right. Look, that gay shit done popped out on that motherfucker. Look, Mark Summers try to hide he ain't a homo. That shit jumped right out the closet on that motherfucker. You better get it right, Reggie. Get our gay history right. It was brave. It was Gladiator. Oh, fucking man on film ass nigga Mark Summers. You better get it right, Reggie. I hated it. It was fucking clown. Two snaps in the head roll for Gladiator, the movie that showcased our homo ass history in Europe. We were swinging swords. Fucking pussies. This is why y'all invented the swords and shit. Fucking homos. But yeah, so that shit go back to show. Even y'all kings was fucking faggots. Like motherfuckers, that's why y'all developed the gun and shit. Couldn't try to go to Africa. Knowing y'all bitches was sneaking over to Africa to get laid and shit, bringing back a bunch of fucking mulattoes. And y'all wanted to go back and defend the pride because y'all fucking grandparents talking shit. Was getting beat the fuck up. The sword didn't work. So y'all start slapping each other in the asses with it till y'all went to China and seen them niggas shooting rockets and shit. That's how the fuck y'all did that shit. He says you've been clowning. Says you've been clowning this nigga too bad. Says he gonna pick up a gun for real, Jashawn. That's what I want this fool to do. That's what I want that fool to do. I'm an expert at this shit. I be knowing some motherfucking biggest be wanting to shoot me. I be knowing they been wanting to do that shit. But guess what? We all got guns. We all got these motherfuckers, and I will definitely use that shit on you one of the backward punks. But they can't come out and say disrespectful shit to me. But I know I'm gonna say shit to make you want to use it. So therefore I can use one too. Because I'm an American who's gonna follow the fucking lines of this law. And then in the matter says just come out of the closet, Mark Summers says, and you will feel it. He did. That's why he came out talking about it's the Gladiator, you clown. Don't you dare mess with the movie that showcased our homo history. The Gladiator. Braveheart had that gay shit in it, exposing you motherfuckers. All y'all movies got gay shit in it. It's in y'all history. They can probably show the history of when you motherfuckers became human species, and it was probably two of you motherfuckers locked up like dogs humping and shit. And the Cool Breeze says they received a note saying the writers would snitch on the saying the writer would snitch on the kidnapper for Bitcoin. Says, the CNN, the family said that. Yeah, the family full of shit. Said they received a note saying the writer would snitch on the kidnapper for Bitcoin. And then that's when Mark Summers jumped out the closet, telling me to get the movie right on his fucking heritage, homo history. Matt says Broke Black Mark Summers is the movie. Says and then even that movie, they made a cowboy movie with some homo shit. Like this shit is part of you motherfuckers. You don't see no motherfucking once the black people start accepting the white shit, the gay shit came along with them. And then Mark Summers says all time movie. That's why a lot of black dudes be saying gay shit. And I be like pointing that shit out like, hey, homie, the fuck you saying that gay shit? Like, man, yeah, you fools hanging around motherfucking the valley too long or some shit. And then Mark Summers says that's the only part of the movie says you remember Fruit Cup. Nah, I don't remember that shit. But that was in the movie because it's talking about y'all history and shit. Yeah, Queen Elizabeth don't be saying that shit. That's why Queen Elizabeth died. Her damn son was a homo. And then he says Summers need to know his history. He says we taught them how to take showers smelling like wet dog and dookie. Says nigga ain't never pulled no bit, says in his life. Facts. These fools still stink. These fools still stink. That's why COVID lasts so long. COVID lasts so long because these motherfuckers wasn't washing they stinking asses. And that's why they invented the vaccine, the jab. That's why Deuce and them need to stop fucking crying about the jab. They made the jab because these fools don't wash they fucking ass and keep they fucking mouth closed. They just cough on motherfuckers. They don't wipe shit down, and the shit just stay here. COVID stay here because of people who look like Mark Summers. Motherfuckers high, coughing, fentanyl coming out of their breath, meth and shit coming out their breath, and they just coughing that shit all over the place. And then so they like, man, these niggas ain't gonna never get it right. They crying over Trump. They listen to this stupid ass president who don't wash his ass. Melania pussy stank. She don't wash that shit. And this fool go eating this shit. This is why I think President Trump got a fucking brain fucking infection. It's some shit that crawl out of motherfucking Melania Crouch into that nigga head, man. A fucking stinking bitch. Um, Can you imagine? Because Trump show can't fuck her. That nigga, that nigga in the fucking, that nigga in the White House eating that nasty bot bitch ass. Oh my God. That nigga got a fucking Melania worm in his head, man. That's why he doing all this dumb shit. Oh my God, he eating Melania stank box out, man. She ain't been properly taught how to wash her shit. That bitch just sit on the toilet, piss, and get the fuck up, pull her panties up with shit stains in them, because her butthole right there in her panties. And then Mark Summers says, BLM dude says, we're doing way worse, says they know it, says would make people sick to see their history. Man, you didn't hear about BLM to George Floyd, dummy. And then Mark Summers says, no one's coming for you, says, with a gun, says, other than somebody, says, other than some, maybe. This fool can't even write his own fucking language. Are you nervous, Mark Summers, man, that we here exposing your ass? You can't even write the language that's been in your family for 1,000 fucking years. He says no one's coming for you with a gun other than maybe some other weird black dudes on YouTube. Oh, like the ones who came for Charlie Kirk when he was talking about black violence and shit. Oh, maybe one of them black dudes. Yeah, think of black dudes. See, they got the wrong person arrested for Charlie Kirk. Think a black dude did that shit. It had to be a black dude. He was talking about black people when this shit happened. Now his wife out there skeezing around and shit, putting on dumbass halftime shows. And then Mark Summers says, you're an expert on gay stuff and movies. Yeah, sure. That's why you don't hear me talking about movies like that. But I did see Braveheart, and then they introduced, I didn't write Braveheart. Your people wrote that shit. Your people wrote, what was that movie you said, Gladiator? I didn't write that shit. I watched the shit. Y'all put the gay shit in it. And then Kubrick says Epstein said he finally found someone more perverted than him, says when speaking about Prince Andrews, who came from England, where Mark Summers and the people came from, where they do all that old freaky deaky shit. Queen Elizabeth's parents were probably like that, where Prince Andrews learned that shit. He probably learned it from Queen Elizabeth's dad. All this shit is a cycle of this shit with these people. And because people in this country and the rest of the world who praise these type of people learn to just kiss their ass and ignore the sick shit that they do. And then Jashawn says we do this for a living. Says we clown these dudes like Sumner's in front of his wife. Says if he even got says if he got if it says if he even got one, says and make her laugh, says and make her laugh at him and shit. Yeah, oh y'all love clowning fools that look like Mark Summers in front of their bitches, especially. And I clown their bitches too. It's like the little broad got out of line with my daughter's swim coach got out of line. Had to check that bitch. I had that bitch in her crying. That bitch start crying. She ain't never been talked to like that in her life. Because she probably been around telling black people you talking all type of sick shit to black people, and black people allowing this bitch to talk to him like that. That bitch will never talk to another black person like that, and that's the intent and purpose behind checking that shit. And white bitch start crying. I go tell my kids, mom, I was gonna call the marshals on them. Well, bitch, why didn't you? You should have called them. What was that statement to say they was gonna come and shoot me? Yeah, fucking right, bitch. Motherfucker call the marshals like fucking like what's the other weirdo talking? He gonna tell YouTube, Jerry, this is this common with them. They love to talk this shit and then they want to go around and 911 black is doing this. Fuck y'all, nigga. And then Matt F says, why do bugs grow out of white people's heads, Mark? So you know the first time I heard that shit when I was in elementary, it was the black girls. It'd be fun. That's why it'd be a trip to see black people straightening their fucking hair or blonding that shit. Is like some I just go on. It's pretty shit people can do with doing the blonde shit and this and that, but it's other reason why some black people just degenerate reject as people. But it was this outbreak back when I was in elementary school. So mine, this is in the mid 80s and shit. This is back when I was in elementary. And I don't know shit about hair and shit. Girls be knowing that shit because girls be hair conscious and shit. So they having this outbreak. And it's funny because a black girl, mine, we young ass kids. So we probably 8 or some shit. Mine, this is in the no, not early, this is the mid 80s. So I'm 44 now. So that's how long ago this shit was. But I remember all this shit because a nigga don't do drugs. That's why I can remember so much shit. So they had this outbreak in the school, and they had an outbreak of lice, and they doing all this shit talking about lice and how to treat the hair. And the black girl said, "We don't need to do none of that. We don't get bugs in our hair. That's only white hair." I'm looking at this girl because it was funny. In elementary, even my white teachers used to call me fucking racist. That's how I laugh at people when they say this shit to me. Been hearing that shit since then, elementary fucking school. Well, the black girl said that shit. I thought that shit was the funniest shit ever. But when she said that shit, because the only other people non-black at these schools was Mexicans and our white teachers. I used to be looking in their hair trying to see what these bugs look like and shit. And I was like, as I get old or hearing about it was true. That shit don't live in black hair. We don't have a hair in a place where that shit grow. When that black girl said that shit to that teacher, I was laughing like a motherfucker. And I think that teacher was a little offended because it made no sense for her to even be talking that shit to none of us in there. We didn't have it, but then we did have the Mexican kids in the class, so maybe that was why she was saying that shit. And then Otto Boxing says the Mark Summers says fight back. Says don't let Red stump you and your people out like this, man. I ain't stumping them. I'm just telling them true history. It ain't no stump out. It's just the true history because everybody in this country love to try to be offensive to black folks, but because black folks lack so much knowledge of shit, they don't know how to throw truthful offenses back at people. But they would rather say, "Oh, you're being nah, don't push that race shit on me." I understand where it comes from. Just happen to be one of them black people you can't push your little degenerate bullshit on. They pride itself on intelligence and learning shit. That shit don't work on it. And I love being comical. I love a good motherfucking laugh. And then Mark Summers says I had to put BLM because blacks get censored because black I get you. He says he had to put BLM says because black gets censored by YouTube. Says blacks too sensitive, always crying. No, it ain't. Blacks always crying. You know why that word is getting censored? Probably there, Mark Summers, is because the other guy from your community, old touchy Philly dude who was in here earlier talking shit, who ain't here no more, Jerry. Jerry has tried to report the live stream to YouTube because he ran off crying after, me exposing some truth about him. That now that word is sensitive in here because of Jerry reporting to YouTube, and it's not going to work. That's why. And then Matter says maybe Charlie Kirk died from fentanyl. Says like they said about George Floyd, he probably did have some of that shit in the system. He probably did. I would rock with that one. Mark Summers says everything originated, says in Africa, says even the fruity stuff. Nah, it only originated once you motherfuckers arrived in Europe. And then you had no women around and you got to fucking with each other until a bitch got kicked out of Africa and sent over there with y'all. Then y'all began to fight over and shit, doing that old Viking shit, doing other shit, unwanted shit to her. She say, no, no, no. Y'all still did it. And then Mark Summers says, Jashawn says, sending private messages, says, one of the weirdest black dudes on here. And then try to get on your head, Jashawn. And Jashawn says, you a fairy, dude, talking to Mark Summers. And then Matt S says, Mark Summers has lice on his nuts, man. The fuck they talk about? That was the other shit I remember hearing in school. Come on, I ain't hear about none of this bug shit. I think, where was I at? Maybe in high school, they was talking about crabs and shit. Well, Lord, that's why I wouldn't take shits in public, man. Like, who the fuck walking around? No, that's what the motherfuckers be saying. They be fucking bitches that got this shit and then get on. You hear about motherfuckers scratching and shit. That shit is. How the fuck do you get crabs on your shit? Like, so I know Mark Summers never experienced, he ain't never fucked a bitch before. But maybe he got his from a dude or some shit. Motherfuckers passing crabs around is fucking wild, man. I ain't never ever seen one of these motherfuckers. Thank God, but to think some shit like that exists. Y'all got the shit on your hair and in your crouch region. So I think black dudes who may fuck snow bunnies can probably get it. Cause I don't know if that shit exists. I ain't never heard black people getting crabs and shit. Black people who fuck other black bitches. I ain't never heard them get that shit. But I think the ones, because a lot of black dudes got access to the snow bunnies and shit. And I'm kind of going through a snow bunny phase right now. So I got to hope I don't catch. I got to hope I don't catch the fucking crabs. Good. I got to hope I don't fucking catch the crabs, man. I got to fight the fucking. Oh, man. Oh, my God. Oh, shit. He catch the crabs in his 40s and shit. Oh man, that shit wild. Oh my god. Oh Lord. Auto Boxer says, Red says, you see the video, says you see the video of the black dude smacking the white dude, says, and the white dude says took off running. Man, I probably had posted that shit on Instagram and shit. I be coming across a lot of them videos like that. Mark Summers and Jerry would never like to see the shit I post on Instagram. And except if they show me, if I put up a video, because I show all videos. It'd be videos of white dudes beating up black folks and shit. They probably love that shit. And then Mark Summers says, since I've been clowning you black fools, laugh out loud. Look, he's using the word fools. This is a New Jersey motherfucker using the word fools. Like, he hanging around this West Coast motherfuckers too long. And then Jashawn says, we clown these dudes like Summers, man. Clown them all fucking day. Like oh my god, if I grew up living around like a white community and shit, that should have been all bad. Y'all been ready to hang me, and I've been ready to shoot you motherfuckers. Madev says this is Black History Month. Says we are teaching all pedos, absolutely teaching them a lesson. It is wrong, you goddamn pedoville motherfuckers. And Renato Boxer says the Mark Summers says the difference is you clown us, says while sitting behind a computer screen. Says we clown y'all, says to your face, in front of your women, says and kids. Absolutely. And then Cool Breeze says Epstein was working on cloning babies, and there may be bodies on it. And that's what I was saying yesterday. They need to go dig that motherfucking rent, whatever properties he on. They need to go excavate them fucking grounds on them damn properties. And that'd be cold. Like somebody got fucking missing kids. You let your kid fly. Like them parents ain't shit. Them parents need to be arrested too. Cause outside me like clowning these fools and being offensive to these motherfuckers, I'm a compassionate motherfucker. And especially when it comes to kids. You know, when it comes to this shit, that's like I be looking at these other little businesses trying to take advantage of donate to trafficking. Like, and you want to donate to trafficking? I ain't giving you shit. Fuck y'all. I'm about to donate to this shit. We profiting off of bullshit. Get the fuck out of here. Like In and Out and them been pulling that shit. I ain't about to give you a nickel or red cent for that shit. How about you go fucking advocate for arresting these little piece of shit ass motherfuckers who are fucking red-handed at doing this shit? Talking about you want to donate money. I ain't donating shit to nothing. Fuck y'all. But the fact that these people got kids missing who have visited this nigga ranch, they need to push to go fucking dig up in them lands and shit, or have them to fucking sonar scan through the fucking land and see if there's remains on the motherfuckers. Because a lot of these fools, our prisons need to be filled with them, with these motherfuckers. Just like, and then you see how sick they are. They moved this bitch Maxwell Ghislaine to some old nice ass fucking prison. Trump and them did that shit. And then Kubri says supposedly at least 2 girls died by strangulation, says, and were buried on his island, buried on his ranch. And then you're trying to talk. We glad he got arrested. He's doing like you knew what he's doing. You ain't do nothing. You ain't beat the nigga up. You ain't call on him. Like fool, you was doing that shit too. And then Jashawn says Mark can't even speak. Says he's a retard. Says he's scared to talk on the panel. Says he ran off. Yeah, you heard how that fool talked, man. That shit was funny as fuck. The time Mark Summers jumped on here, and they talk like Bert from off of Sesame Street and shit. And Otto Boxer says Mark Summers explained to us. Says how is it that y'all get lice on your bodies? Says why do disgusting nasty bugs attach themselves to your bodies and shit? That shit was funny. First time I heard the lice and shit at a black school and they teaching that bullshit. That girl said that shit. And then Matt F says check for lice, and then he said, "Oh, with me with the snow bunny," says you're not gonna catch it. Says you're not gonna catch it through Twitter. Says you safe. Then Mark Summers with his best comeback in his life. Man, the snow bunnies be on me, homie. And when I look on Twitter, I don't be looking at white girls like that. I might look at some of the white girls porn shit, but I look at black bitches. When if I watch like porn shit, I go on Twitter, I'm looking at black bitches. I ain't into like looking at white bitches like that. But I do like the snow, but I got snow bunny fever right now. It's like a seasonal thing right now. I don't know if the jab did that shit to me. Yeah, I use the real word. The vaccine may have done it to me. They must have stuck in a little bit of French vanilla in my motherfucking vaccine because it got me on snow bunny snow bunny season right now. Man, I'm on them snow bunnies and shit. And then he says, Rob G and they're laughing. Deuce time in here talking some basketball shit. He says you need to cook LeBron star pattern ass. Nigga, you will come in with this Trump defense bullshit. Nigga, I ain't talking about no fucking LeBron. You ain't gonna never hear me diss LeBron, homie. I don't do that shit. I am truly a black motherfucker, not about to run into this shit of wanting to shit on LeBron, who is an actual star, is going to be an actual basketball legend, and you want me to shit on him for what? He's a dude who's done his thing to hold up the fucking sport of basketball at an NBA level, and you want me to shit on him for what? Nigga shit. I wouldn't dare do that shit. I ain't the type of person that engage in that shit. Ain't about to do it. And then Mark Summers says, Arnold Boxer says, shut your old ass up. And then Mark Summers writing like he black as shit. And then he says, oh, black dude, says, old ass black dude says, if you survive a few more years, look at this fool Mark Summers, man. he been hanging around black YouTube channels too long and shit. Let me get ready to get up off of this mug, man. Y'all cut these comments out. I'm done clowning these degenerate motherfuckers. And then Autoboxer says I can't imagine being white and watching my woman constantly running the black dude. Says it gets smashed, right? Says it has to be humiliating as a man. Says now I see why y'all hate us. Man, that's like, man, y'all even heard Tex get on here the one time and talk about the story I've been telling y'all in the army, where they had that white broad in there, let a bunch of dudes run through her motherfucking ass. She in there got a full unit train ran on her. I mean, she let the almost the whole barracks of the white dudes going in there just ran through this broad. Her dude found out about this shit and like a sucker, he called the damn he called the military police. Because the motherfucking broad recorded this shit or something. Or somehow it got back to him. I forgot. I think Tex told that shit he's on here about how I got back to it. This thing called the military police and act like these people took advantage of this girl. So this girl that took about 30 dudes up in her and he still wanted this bitch. Like you can't be a stupider motherfucker than that. And that's what was happening all throughout the time I'm in the military. These snow bunnies was doing it was the black chicks too, but not on the level of the snow bunny. The snow bunny was doing that shit at such high fucking levels. And the dudes who look like Mark Summers go right back to accepting these bras. But like I said, that one day, and I mean the MPs showed up, they was escorting motherfuckers out my barracks and my unit. And they wouldn't give niggas time to get dressed. When that shit came out, then they find out the bitch, she wanted that shit. Her dude was a sucker. He wanted to keep his bitch, but to make him feel good, he tried to act like these fools in that unit took advantage of him. Like this fool's a sucker ass fool. I know Boxer says notice all Epstein clients were white. Says messing with little kids, typical white behavior. Mark Summers, you know what you see in that damn Epstein file? Jerry Tasker, who now no longer wants to write in the check. You know what that's in that Epstein file? Jerry probably in that motherfucker too. If Jerry ain't in a list in Maryland where he come from, Mark Summers says lice isn't really that common. He says you guys obsessed with minor stuff. Now it ain't minor. Mark, you know you done had lice. You're a fucking lice head ass motherfucker. They're talking about it ain't even that serious. Oh, who is these bros, Jashawn? Wait, them snow? Oh no, I'm about to say them ain't no snow, but it's some old chocolate bitch. Somebody thicker than a white bitch. Man, I've been on snow bunny season though. God damn. The snow bunny, not the ones on the Twitter shit, but snow bunnies I see in person, homie. And then cause I know I can knock them. And Mark Summers talking about it ain't common. Mark Summers done had lice throughout his life. He says, think everyone has lice, says in on mess. Says think everyone has lice and on mess. Man, Mark, you didn't have lice and shit, fool. You didn't have that shit. You didn't have to use that lice shampoo and shit. Y'all probably got a gallon of that shit at your house. that nigga got a gallon of lice be gone at his house. and it ain't in the shower because them niggas don't shower every day. And y'all motherfuckers don't believe in bathing and shit, none of that shit. And then they said, and then Arnold Boxer says, white chicks says are useless, says, and start looking old at the age of 30, man. And then Mark Summers says, you a trick, Red, shit. And then Deuce Time says, oh yeah, I forgot, says, you don't follow sports. No, I follow sports, Deuce. You just won't hear me engage in stupid shit, the badge of fucking black legend in basketball, for others to tear him down and to shit on what he has accomplished. So as they go through this new phase of one implementing, some white faces and push the European thing into being an accepted American athlete and shit. Like, no. But people, because this is the funny thing, because this other thing, it's a common thing for people want to hear you bash a black athlete. The other day, I was going for a run a few days ago, and this is one of the white dudes stay across the street. I don't really talk to these fools. I think they're a bunch of degenerate motherfuckers. I see degenerate shit from them because it's something that's allowed in their households. So when I'm walking, the dude, he said something. I take my earpiece out, like, huh? What'd you say? Oh, he say, hi, neighbor, and woo woo. And he say, oh, did you watch the Super Bowl? And I said, yeah, I watched it. It was a good Super Bowl because I knew he wanted to probably ask about the Bad Bunny shit. And I was like, the minute he say some shit, I was gonna say something that it would have made him feel like he was a fucking homo for caring about the damn halftime show because he gonna be pushing that Trump agenda shit because it's the Super Bowl, not the halftime show. So when he was talking, I was like, yeah, it was a good ass Super Bowl. Oh, did your team win? I said, I ain't like neither one of them teams. And I was like, but Drake May, because I was like, this how I'm an expert on these motherfuckers. I said, but Drake May play like garbage. He's like, oh, dude, but enjoy your walk, bro. Like it shit hurting because they don't want to hear that kind of shit of you telling the truth when the athlete looks like them. But now if I'd have been like, say Lamar Jackson or somebody was in there, yeah, Lamar Jackson looked like shit. Oh, hey, bro, this, yeah, man, I agree with you. Do you have a moment? He would have been on that shit. That nigga sounded hurt when I said, yeah, Drake May looked like he played like trash, and I said he cost his team the Super Bowl. Dude, yeah, he looked like shit. Now we talk basketball, and I be doing that shit all the time. We can talk sports. You ain't gonna hear me bad, especially a black athlete is doing this shit. I'm not bash no fucking LeBron. Ain't about to bash any top star. Ain't no fucking just LeBron shit. Like I don't do that shit. It ain't even got to be a black and white thing. But niggas get caught up in this shit wanting to bash black athletes who actually do shit. That same shit Bill Walton whole ass used to do when he was doing sports commentary. He loved to bash every superstar in the league, but his old weak ass son. Nigga's son got free championship rings and shit and free contract. Wait, did his son? Matter of fact, his son was a coach or some shit. Where did Bill Walton's son, Luke Walton, got a coaching job, which was crazy as fuck to me. Where's Luke Walton? What's Luke Walton fucking? Wait, Luke Walton was Steph Curry and them coach, wasn't he? When then he was coaching Golden State or some shit, wasn't he? And then Matter says why when white people says sweat says it look like mud, Mark Summers says just nasty work. I know boxing the Mark Summers says lice is very common in y'all community. Says bugs falling out of y'all hair. Says every time y'all brush y'all hair. And he said, oh, the Kings. He was a coach. Like, how the fuck he even get the job? What? But no, wasn't he somewhere? Wait, wasn't he assistant? Or did he just go in that Kings job? Or was he in Golden State? One thing he was in Golden State. So he's a Kings coach. But how the fuck he get a job as a coach? Like, how can he get a job? He ain't done shit. And then even a black league athlete got to go through all this shit to get a coaching job. Says, yeah, he was. Oh, see, that's what I thought. Like, don't ever talk to me about bashing fucking LeBron and shit when it's the type of shit going on in the fucking league. Niggas like Lil Walden. Didn't Steve Kerr get a job as a coach or some shit? And it's no, what called Steve Walden? Steve Nash, not Steve Kerr, sorry about that. Steve Nash. And then the way Steve Nash, when he was the Lakers, that despicable shit he did. And I think he even rolled into a coaching position or a GM role or some shit. Like, get the fuck out of here. They just want to talk. Y'all niggas better wake the fuck up, man. They wouldn't dare hear me bash fucking LeBron. Like, you niggas crazy as fuck. Niggas caught up in team spirit and shit. Fuck out of here, man. Niggas gotta wake up. Like, you don't bash. I wouldn't bash fucking James Harden. None of that shit. Even though you may hear me clown on some Clipper joke, I won't bash none of these motherfuckers. Like, no. Because people want that shit. That's why you get these old suburban ass motherfuckers be at these fucking games disrespecting these dudes through the fucking stands and shit. Like, no, absolutely not. And then Auto Boxer says the Mark Summers says lights is very oh yeah, I read that one. Mark Summers says Reggie only follows white athletes says so he can hate. Man, you ain't never heard me sit there and follow white athletes to hate on them. You hear me give Christian McCaffrey all the credit in the world. You hear me call that Super Bowl giving the white receivers their fucking credit who was doing their things. You don't hear me. I give proper athletes their fucking credit. You don't hear me buying into this white hyping shit that a lot of niggas who watch fucking sports do all fucking day. is to do the white hyping shit. Like, abso-fucking-lutely not. Like, you don't hear me talking about the fucking Winter Olympics and how Americans ain't winning all the golds. But when it come to black predominant sports, when they were going through a phase of not winning shit and how quick people were to want to bash the NBA is the American athletes are just this and that, and they were just wanting to bash that shit. But ignore the hockey team don't win shit, the soccer team don't win shit, the Winter Olympic team don't win shit. Like, the fuck out of here. Talking about bash them. I give credit to where it's due. I bash Luca because of the white hyping system and narratives they drive and they try to create this dude as a guy to thrust into the forefront. No different than what they try to do years ago. I pay attention to all this shit. That's why I don't turn the TV on to watch networks' presentation of American sports. Of when they try to push this shit with Beckham being some superstar to push over in America, especially in LA, when they brought the Galaxy here, brought Beckham over here and presenting him and then his whiteness and all that shit. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. I don't think he did shit with the Galaxy, but he earned a big ass contract for nothing. And then Mark Summers says white athletes, says white politicians, says it is a sickness. No, it is definitely a sickness with what happens. It's why America hasn't really achieved anything. People still suffering, don't got shit. What the fuck are you talking about? And he says, never in my life. And then he says, and then Jashawn says, bitches, says the bitches I'm cool with. Oh, them was your homegirl? Man, you ought to be smashing them hoes. Man, Jashawn showed me some little bad bitches he be fucking with. Man, you ought to be saying them bitches I'm smashing, homie. And then Mark Summers says I don't come on here, says faking like the black dudes. Man, you in here talking like you black now, Mark Summers. Salute to SF. I see you, bro. I'm about to get ready to get off of here too. And Mark Summers says you are a degenerate. Of course, you live around degenerates. He talking about degenerate. No, the shit that happens at that house is some degenerate shit. And then Jashawn, they're rolling and shit. And then Mark Summers says, sounds like a pretty normal conversation, says, but you were emotional. No, never emotional. The white dude got mad and sad when he heard me tell the truth about Drake May, who looked like shit in the Super Bowl and cost his team the game. And then Mark Summers says, you try to make it a race thing, says as soon as they said hello, says you got issues. No, because I knew where he was going with the conversation. I just think ahead of where niggas going. I know niggas' directions. I don't talk to them fools over there. But he wanted to create a bullshit conversation because he wanted to go in there talking about the Bad Bunny concert. And I was wishing he would have opened up and said that shit. But he knew I don't want to watch that fucking shit. I ain't got nothing to bash that. That from looking at the presentation at halftime show, that shit was a high caliber halftime show. And then some of you dummies want to watch fucking Charlie Kirk Hooker halftime show sponsored by Trump and them. With out of all people, you got Kid Rock, who's trashed in a motherfucking lip singing out here. Like, fuck out of here. It's called the Super Bowl. It's about football, not a halftime show. So I can give two fucks about halftime shows in football. I don't even like commercials in sports. I don't like watching that shit. Matt F says I don't give a fuck about national anthems in sports. I'm here to watch the sport, not all this other dumb shit that they present with sports for capital reasoning behind that shit. And then Matt F says rather be a degenerate, says than a male monkey pedo lover like you, Mark Summers. And then Jashawn says the Kings talking about Luke Walton, and they say yeah he was an assistant over in Golden State. SF in the building. Mark Summers says Jashawn says don't get pussy. He says heard that fool talking enough on here, says to know that. And then Cool Breeze says 60 Minutes Australia YouTube channel says will show you how crime has nothing to do with race. Says in a predominantly white society, says they have some horrific crimes. Says we don't hear about over here. Man, they just had a bad shooting up there in Canada and shit, which you don't really hear about shit like that up in Canada like that. And then Mark Summers says, nah, says he saw you were hostile for no reason. Nah, it wasn't hostile. I was heading on my motherfucking walk. And he wanted to engage in the Super Bowl talk. Like his team lost. I guess he was hurt. The New England Patriots lost. And the fact that he didn't, he wanted to keep things with Drake May sacred. Like, how dare you speak on a blonde haired quarterback like that? It's his second year. Give him a chance. Don't talk about him. Nah, we're gonna speak on the game. He looked like shit. And then Jashawn says you gotta look up Nick Wright. Says he proposed that All-Star games, so he proposed that the All-Star game should be black players versus white players. Man, that shit. Oh, if they done that shit, man, you would really hear white people from the Klan turn on white people. Because them fools that had nothing but layups. Could you imagine a Mark Summers looking basketball player throwing an alley hoop for one of his teammates who looked like him to do a layup? They throw the ball up, said, make it off that square. The niggas know damn well they ain't ducking shit. Like, this is garbage. Present nothing to the elevation of sports. With the black athlete brought in this huge amount of money that comes through this shit and the sponsorship, and somehow they ain't able to capitalize because of the system set in place by the organizations through legal measures. They own the league. They structure the leagues like this. Other owners got to vote if you want to own a team. No, we're going to vote against bringing this guy in here. He's not a good fit for it. But let's bring an Indian over from India, Patel's people. Get the fuck out of here. I would never rock with loving any fucking team in sport. The blacks have presented everything that changes the whole dynamics of money coming in. That shit. Guess why? Because of the bigots want to pay top dollar to go see these top level guys perform at the highest level of human feat within these sports. But then on the other side, that old good bigotry amongst them, it folds right out of their fucking pockets. Like, I see through all that shit with the sports shit. You can't hide the racism in that shit. Have the conversation to speak the truth, and you see how people be hurt by this shit. And then Jashawn says I heard how retard you are. Says how retard you sound. Says you never had no woman in your life. Says you about 40 something. Says they think you weird. Says and disgust. Left my ass off at Mark Summers. Cool Breeze says crime isn't specific to race or class. Says some of the worst crimes are committed by well-educated and wealthy people. Ted Bundy. Says media and government says sells a narrative about crime because fear sells, and because it protects the purification of how white society is presented as well. Because even when they show serial killing shows, they somehow fashion it to where it ain't a thing where you view, the white community is a dangerous community. When they show black crime, they create it to where this community is such a dangerous and volatile community. And even you get people in there, they view white people. Like even today, I was walking, and you should have seen the fear of this middle-aged white couple that was walking. We walking by each other. And the terror that was in the wife's face was like, I just sat as I walked by them laughing my fucking ass off. Like, if you got anybody to worry about, it's gonna be some motherfucker look like your stupid ass. I'm like, he's fucking idiotic motherfucker. That's even like back in days, back when we was young, like especially after the riots happened in LA. And like I said, we used to go to Torrance to go do shit, and them tearing white folks. This back when white folks started locking their doors, and then because of the OJ shit, no, OJ was at way after that. But after the riots and shit happened, we go in the communities down in Torrance and towards the South Bay and all that shit. And you walk by these white folks, man, this is the ignorance amongst white people, especially white women. They'll get the clutching they fucking purses and shit. You see the purse on this side of them. Because they were even teaching self-defense classes on teaching these people how to fucking fight against purse snatching. Because it was something they were teaching that black people were doing and shit. And so you'll be walking and shit. The white ladies can be just walking with their purses hanging. We can, as soon as they see us walking, we're about to walk in opposite directions, so we're gonna pass each other. They immediately go clutching them purses, lock their arms, or shift the purse to where if you're passing on this side and the person out, they were doing these classes that would teach them, probably even learn this shit in their churches. Shift the purse to the other side of their bodies, lock their arm in a certain way for a few of the ground. We ain't even thinking about these bitches. Or then you'll be walking across the path and you immediately watch them lock their fucking doors. That start becoming a growing thing amongst white people out there in LA. Especially right after the riots. And especially because black people in LA don't take shit from white people. and they learn that shit. So much of the other countries start learning a lot from LA people. But what does the white media present about LA? The gang member, the drive-by, all this other shit. They hide the revolutionary pro-blackness of LA blacks, of West Coast blacks. But they push the gang banging imagery of black people. And some black people gravitate towards, especially younger blacks. I'm a real hard, cool ass gangster nigga. No, you really come from a revolutionary mindset that don't put up with this little ignorant bullshit of American policy. I ain't gonna even say American society, but American policy. The same shit Trump trying to run. American policy, bigotry and shit. And then Mark Summers says no one cares about the NBA All Star game. Says no matter what they do, says laugh out loud. I've been saying that shit. I don't watch that All Star shit. They do too much of changing the formats of that shit. They changing shit, doing all this other shit. They didn't change this. They just changed too much of that shit. And then Mark Summers says not 40, says, but Sean says you're like early 20s, says, and on here all the time, says you got nothing going for you. Mark Summers, you be on here more than I be on this motherfucker. It's my channel. You on this motherfucker when I ain't on it. And he says sharing some videos of people says with some dudes on the internet, says weird ass. And then Jashawn says, Red says, you think this 40-year-old retard incel says you can't speak and put together a sentence has ever had a woman? Hell no, Mark Summers ain't got no bitches. That's why when he got on here, I knew that shit. I was like, yeah, this a fool who in there just fucking mad at the fucking world. Pathetic. His fucking nuts just ought to fall off and shit. This motherfucker, that's what the body should do. When you an old nigga ain't never fucked a bitch and can't fuck a bitch, man, it ought to be a program in the human genetic that your nuts just fall off. Everything just fall off. You start pissing out your ass. This is what you ought to be doing. Like you just worthless and shit. And then Mark Summers says, I'm barely on here anymore. He says, you born. Man, Mark Summers, you always in this motherfucker. Kubrick says, even when I'm clowning your motherfucking ass and people like you, you still be on here and shit. And he says, government sells narratives about crimes to justify increased budgets. Absolutely. And even when you look at police budgets, like I see when I get on here, and I wouldn't go into this shit because I always watch the 9/11 interviews. Like I said, I'm deep into the 9/11 shit. And listening to the interviews, but I listen to more and I listen to them old Irish motherfuckers out the fire department, and they become more despicable ass people to me. And I hear some of them speak on even Will Jimeno, the last dude. He was one of the cops from the Port Authority who survived the collapse of the towers and shit. I love the story about his rescue and other shit. Even I watched the recent thing because another one of the Port Authority officers who got saved with him. What was that dude name? It was him, Will Jimeno, and it was another dude survived with him. But he in a recent interview where they do all the thing on the 9/11 shit. He was saying the dude, what's his name? His name was Sergeant McLaughlin. I think that's his name. They said that when the towers fell out, he lost his ass. They said that nigga, he said the nigga ain't got no ass cheeks. When the towers fell on him, it cut his ass off. Like, damn. But so I like, let's say story, but the niggas be talking about race. He talked this shit about how we see blacks and this and that, do that, and the humanity of people. Like, man, Will Middle, shut that shit the fuck up, man. That shit is a white thing amongst you, the motherfuckers in that fire department, the Irish people who present that racial dynamic shit. Don't act like people don't get along with fucking people and there's that much racial divide and hatred. That shit is a white societal thing that motherfuckers like you need to check and wake the fuck up to. But then you listen to these fools in the fire department talk this old racial shit, hearing people interviewing, talking about the Al Qaeda thing and how Al Qaeda came. Al Qaeda would not been an issue or a factor had not Americans going over there, wealthy white Americans who looked to steal shit out of these people's lands to enrich their own funky ass selves, going there attacking these people's countries, killing these people's families, fucking with them, that incident would have never fucking occurred. And that's the thing people always love to hide when they look at, the chain of events that leads to shit. Even looking at 9/11, them motherfuckers ain't just decide to do that shit out of a hatred towards America. This motherfucker said, no, we ain't about to sit back and allow you to do that shit. And then to go in to start a 20-year war That was only for financial fucking reasoning behind that shit. The war behind 9/11 made no sense. That shit happened right on the square area where them towers sat, not all across America. You could have went right in there with fucking Delta Force, Rangers, and where the fuck else. Did your little fucking surveillance and finding out the points of where you want to get Saddam out of here, you want to get fucking Bin Laden out of there. But no, you want resources. That war, them people dying, and 3,000 of people didn't mean shit to that funky ass president and the other ones that come behind him. Like I say, I'll be deep into that fucking 9/11 shit. Mark Summers talking about boring ass conversation, but you stay in here listening to me teach you some shit that your parents degenerate asses never taught you. Mark Summers says, "I got a girl now." Says, "But that's cool." Says you think that. What, you blow her up? And they got a girl. That bitch filled full of helium and shit. This nigga. That nigga got a little air machine to blow her up. Matt have laughed at that nigga. Said Mark Summers has Jerry. That nigga fucking Jerry. Jerry, Mark Summers think you a bitch. Oh man, I can't end. Let me get off of this bitch, man. These niggas in this chat. Mark Summers says, "End alive," says, "You're just rambling, man." No, I'm going on my little rant on my 9/11 shit. And then Cool Breeze says, a Fulton County sheriff once told me, says he loved the job, says because he gets to ride around and says in the suburbans for free. Says basically saying how everything they do is backed by unlimited tax funds. Man, I was looking at some shit. Was I think he was, where is this cop knows a white dude? I forget what he's saying, where he say he was taught this shit by a white cop, like growing up. He was just talking about some of the level of fucking prejudice he lived around growing up around whites in certain like positions of authority. And he said the first time he ever heard about how to wink at a black person was from a white police chief. And he says, yeah, I wink at black people all day. He says, I greet black people all day with a wink. And he said, you know how that is? Say you wink like you shooting through a rifle. That's how you wink at a black person and shit. And then Mark Summers says, boring ass conversation, but you stay in this mud. DJ says Saddam didn't have nothing to do with 9/11. Says, and they used him as propaganda. Facts. They had no reason. These fools used the death of these people and the fall of them towers to fucking go in there, rob these countries of resources to enrich themselves. Bush got rich off of that shit. Many regular ass people who go to war, who fights in these military units, who don't receive any of that. They may receive hazard duty pay and whatever other income on top of your income you get for going to war. They receive that shit. While these other motherfuckers get rich. They send civilian contractors in there. They get rich, pulling all type of money in there. It's just a money grab. Like none of this war shit means a fucking thing. The same thing this peon ass president in the White House currently in there is fucking doing the shit he's doing. As he enriches his own self and says, fuck you to the people who voted for him because you niggas are stupid. Motherfuckers don't get shit out of it. That war behind 9/11 was stupid as fuck. Bush is a degenerate, ignorant motherfucker. Went in there for nothing. The 9/11 happened in fucking small square areas, 2 towers, the Pentagon, and that fucking field. And then we go to a 20-year war over that shit. Like these people ain't just target America. Rob G and they're rolling. And then DJ says, wish we could have had a panel. Well, on this one, when I'm cooking on Trump, I don't like to do panels because I don't be one of the Trump supporters in there trying to kill off my point. And I'll be always know it's gonna be a Trump supporter jumping on here wanting to defend Trump. And that's exactly what happened. You had Jerry old Chester ass jump on here trying to defend Trump, shielding him with his own self. This fucking Epstein ass fucking Jerry in here who now want to go tell YouTube. You go tell the DOJ, you know who else on that fucking Epstein list, chump. And then, but yeah, no, when I'm cooking on Trump, I don't be want to have the panel. But tomorrow, this fool's gonna do Epstein shit. Tomorrow we'll have a panel for that shit. But yeah, and then it'd be crazy. Niggas want to get on here and defend Trump all fucking day, idol worshiping a whore ass fucking president. Not even just Trump is a whore. He's a horrible fucking president, a horrible human being, a horrible example of a man, a horrible example of everything. But he's a great example of a bitch. And then DJ said, laugh out loud, says, I respect that. Yes, indeed. Like Trump is all this shit that I say. And then he got a bunch of little weird ass people out of a community that comes from where he was brought up at, that do all this old worship shit of him and don't hold him accountable for nothing. And that's what we deal in this society of people who don't have accountability for what they do and for what they fuck up at and fail at. And then we elect motherfuckers with no accountability. That's why we end up with in Iraq and fucking Afghanistan for all them years and nothing results from that shit. Did nothing come out of that shit. Then nothing result. He says I want to talk about investments, and then if tomorrow because they show gonna be on whatever if the conversation shifted that then that's all good, which it probably is. And then Kubrick says it's crazy how many rappers wanted to be around him. Says a name drop him in their songs because they ignorant. Most of these rappers ignorant, don't know shit. They come from a background where they ain't never been educated on shit but can rhyme over beats. They can match word over beats. But when it comes to educational shit, these niggas are stupid, homie. They just look at money and who they can earn money with, and then they run off of that shit. They'll sell their souls for anything. It goes back to a great point Bud made when talking to Chatting Crowder. Like now you shows me exactly what your character is. You do anything to sell your soul for money. That's why I don't like money hungry people. I don't like people who talk money and only can want to be around people who's on money. No, them type of niggas that kill each other over that shit. So then I look at people differently when they be just all they can talk about on this and that. They lose their mind over money and shit. Then when they get money, they don't make anything better for themselves. You just watch them go out tragically over that shit. They act no different than gorilla retarded ass sister. I know niggas is wild and shit. Niggas got to learn niggas got to get back to humanity and shit while making money. You make the money is yours. Money ain't to be talked about with other people. If you come in and making money with people, those are your business people, then people need to know how to do business honorably, not cheat each other. The system, the policies of a government need to be right to ensuring that we're protecting people and how they go about saving their money. Like this country just all about breaking motherfuckers, making you go broke, leave you out on the streets. This fucking country ain't got a solution to shit. And then accept solutions for when rich people lose they shit, they always got a solution to bail these niggas out, which is crazy. We got solutions like dumbasses of what society is filled with. We sit back and allow this shit. The solutions that they help rich people when they make the mistakes and fuck up and lose all their shit. The solution is to help get them that shit back. And then DJ says, you think we lost that war? Says a lot of military people say we were getting out. Says a lot of military people say we were getting out. We're getting out. Oh, your writing fucked up. Says we were getting our asses. Or we were getting our says I don't know how you put out. Says we were getting our asses kicked. Says by motherfuckers in flip flops. I don't think we were he said get off of here. I thought you was using that Reading Rainbow video I used. But no, I don't think we're getting I think it was no giving up from them damn people. Them people wasn't about to hand that country over to America. This is why they came up with them plans. They ain't people to fuck with. But as far as could they have defeated America? No. But could America defeat them? No. They weren't going to be people. Oh, he said he was. No, that comment is talking about get off. Oh, you do say get off here. Yeah, that is the Reading Rainbow shit. But no, getting our asses kicked, no. But I don't think we were just over there where those people were bowing down and you were able to break them and shit. Like none of that shit. Them people were going to fight. They weren't going to submit to America and bow down to the American rule and America doing what they've done to every other country they're fucking colonized. Even the Russians learned that shit with the motherfuckers. They ain't about to bow down to that shit. They not white. They not about to go into none of that shit. Are they weird and fucked up? Yeah, they weird and fucked up. But who is America to go over there and try to change them people? All over these fools using tragic events as a way to springboard and go into wars to to profit off of that shit. Now we need to go to war. They attacked our buildings, they attack our country, but now you bringing in to take oil and shit. Like these white dudes is filthy motherfuckers, and we got to stop voting for people like that. Like we got to, and Americans have to learn that shit. Like you don't need these old twisted ass white dudes who are all caught up in this Epstein shit. That's really what they be doing. And then Fresh BX says when Buzz said he wouldn't come back, says for 100 million on that show, says it was cap. Says he told Ward on his show, says he would, and says he was going as far. Says he's going as far, says it projected, says on Ward himself, says saying he would too. And then, but no, the way he said it to Channing Crowder, I get where he's coming from. And then Channing be saying some like way out weird shit. But I doubt if he gonna come back. If he gonna be retired, then he retired. If he retired, then he's retired. I don't see a need, and I don't think Canelo want to fight. Canelo here, he retired now. All of a sudden, Canelo all vocal and shit. But folks, that's all I got. I'm out of this mug, man. I'll see y'all on this mug tomorrow. Peace, peace.